like saying that Jamaicans stay with a job. And that's true. Like, I've dated Jamaicans before, or a Jamaican. Definitely like that. Like, he had plenty of jobs. And I've heard Jamaicans say that too. Well, we stay with a job. That's where that came from. But there were people who were trying to say, oh, let's face this and all this. And also saying, when I said the whole thing about a fudge packer, like, growing up, that's what we called anybody who liked anal. It didn't matter if you were gay or not. Like, when we were in college and people weren't really doing that, just like people weren't giving oral sex. Back when I was in college, it was like, shh, or whatever. We called them fudge packers. Like, I call some of my friends fudge packers. Like, think about it. Like, it's going in your butt and it's boo-boo. Like, fudge packer is a joke. It's not like, it is not a slur at all. So, just like I'm not a marble licker. Is that a slur too? What is a marble licker? Someone who goes down on women. I will never go down on a woman. Like, I don't lick marbles. It's a joke. If you take it a totally different way, that shit's on you. That ain't got shit to do with me. So, yeah, there's that.
You guys, this is Royce Reed doing her a live this morning. She was telling the people, you better leave me alone. You better leave me alone. Unfortunately, my thing is spinning right now.
Baby hairs are on a baby. All that laying and doing all them geometric shapes in your head, I'm not doing that. I just lay it down because I don't want it to be free.
Come on.
And I don't even like it being that far back. I need it to hang. Anyway, all right, y'all. I gotta go before my mama call me and cuss me out. But I hope I answered a lot of your questions, and I might be back later. And then also, if something else happens, I'll post my receipts. I did post them on here, but y'all know how when you get flagged and stuff, they stop your views. So if you want to go back in my story, I did post receipts. The first batch. So, all right.
Okay, so let's go check out her first batch of receipts. Royce Reed.
This is real life, no cheat codes or start overs. I'll send 100 rounds.
Why are you playing?
I'm not.
Don't want to get that. Come on. You can't just open this? So this must be the first receipt. That she's saying she posted. Can you hear me okay? I hope you can hear me okay. There we go. So this is a cease and desist. I muted it because I think there's music with this. Let's see. Thanks for coming through to LRGA Curves.
This is real life, no cheat codes or start overs. I'll send 100 rounds.
So this is a cease and desist. Maya, really freaking lax. Jesus.
I have one relax.
Oh, that's this one back here. Sorry. I had two tabs open. Let me close this one. Maybe it'll play better. Go back up. We're going to take a look at the cease and desist, which is a receipt that she's dropping. And then she dropped these. Damn it. There we go. So here are some receipts. Can we stop it? Okay, so these are receipts. Let's take a look at these, people. So this says, the first one says, you up? Yeah, you okay? Yes, had to be with my brother. He needed me. I've been thinking, that's good. I'm so happy y'all talked. I'm so happy y'all talked. What have you been thinking about? Matriarch. That's a head woman. Yep. Okay, what about? What do you think? I don't know. What are you saying? What if you did this? Let's make Braylon out of school. He's staying ATL at the family house. You keep your house in Orlando, take away all the court stuff, and I pay for mortgage instead of child support. And you and Bray pursue acting, and you do you, and Bray is an athlete, and he can train with me for everything, and you will be there, and you get the freedom to do as you please. Wow, what the fuck? Wow, are you here? There is a text conversation. You're right, it isn't, and no, I'm not. We need to talk. Okay. And then he says, but that's been on my mind heavy. And she says, that's a lot to have been on your mind. I don't know. You make it super emotional. Braylon looking at me crazy. Yeah, it's been every day since I'm home from Corona. And then it says, where are we? And then it says, yeah, it's been every day since home from Corona. I didn't even know how to text respond to this. Is it crazy? I think you and Christine can do that. And we keep all the money in the pot, and we give for kids if we do it together. And then y'all will have y'all separate. It's not crazy. It's a lot to ask though. What's that mean in terms of everything else? Have you spoken to her? What's y'all's situation? Same as ours? I wanted to talk to you first. Okay. It's not impossible, but it's going to take a lot of trust and understanding. I know. And listen, we all don't want to be hurt again. So this is the biggest leap of faith in our lives. And then she's telling them, don't threaten me with a good time. Is this going to respond? Okay, let's go down and see if we can see the cease and desist on December 31st, 20. I've been retained to represent Dwight Howard regarding continued escalating statements. You guys see that okay? So it's dated December 31st. It's to Royce Reed regarding a cease and desist. Dear Miss Reed, I've been retained to represent Dwight Howard regarding continuing and escalating. Come on, I just got it perfect. Escalating statements, potentially defamatory statements made by you against him. Mr. Howard is aware of various malicious and potentially libelous statements you have published online and otherwise shared with the public. Any misrepresentations regarding his personal life and or fabricating claims that may have already and certainly could cause significant damage to Mr. Howard's reputation in the future. The Glenkin Law Firm, come on now. The Glenkin Law Firm, on behalf of Dwight Howard, demands that before January 7th, you immediately issue a public retraction that is of equal prominence and format of your false statements and remove said statements from all media sources. You are hereby cautioned and instructed to cease and desist any further Cease and desist from any further dissemination of public and false statements. Should you not take these steps, Mr. Howard is prepared to proceed with litigation. To be clear, you must immediately cease and desist from making any false statements or allegations. You should immediately issue a public apology. To be clear, unequivocally, widely circulated. I encourage you to abide, govern yourself accordingly. Really, bitch? I mean, we are in America, we're land of the free, home of the brave, and America, and freedom of speech is the first freedom, you guys. Like, it's literally first on the list. Freedom of speech. And if her lived experience warrants this expression of her freedom of speech, then who the fuck is Dwight Howard and his legal team to say that she cannot utter a word about her lived experience? That's just crazy talk to me. That's crazy talk. You guys want to see what started it? Let's go back. You got time? Let's go down. Did she take away the videos yet? Here, I'm going to go to Royce. And we saw these, the receipts. Then we saw her cease and desist. And these videos in gray are what started it. So something happened where Royce Reed got triggered. So she decided she needs to tell her story. Okay, so let's listen.
Hey y'all, it's Royce. And due to a lot of recent occurrences that include lies, fabrications, false accusations, threats,
I don't know. Can we hear that okay?
etc., I realized that it's about that time for me to tell my story from the beginning to now. Unfortunately, someone keeps calling my bluff. And when you're an ant fighting an elephant, the only way to eat an elephant is bite by bite. Therefore, I want to let you know that I am a true Cancer zodiac. I told you to leave me alone. I told you not to fuck with me. Yet you still do. So, because of that, I am not Michelle Obama. When they take it low, I do not take it high. I take it to hell. And now, you're going to get what you asked for. I had a baby by Superman, and here's his fucking kryptonite. Hey y'all, it's Royce.
Okay.
Hey y'all, I'm Royce. I'm a little under the weather, but I'm gonna get this out. So, this is my story about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004 to now. All because I had a baby by Superman. Part 1. July 31st, 2004, I was at the movies at Downtown Disney with 2 of my friends. When 3 male figures walk in, one looking to be about an inch away from being a midget, the other very skinny and he had a bad acne problem, and another one who was extremely tall. As they come over to the concession stand, we are greeted with, "Y'all in my book." Our response was, "What book?" He goes, "My yearbook." I then respond, "No, sweetie, I'm grown." He goes, "No, my magic book. Y'all used to dance with the magic." Oh, yes. He's like, "I'm the rookie." Oh, hey. That's how that went, okay? And he was talking about, "Oh, y'all not dancing this year, that we left them with the Lion King." Like, it was a bunch of niceties and goofiness, and that was it. He still had braces. It was nothing. So we go to see The Notebook, and they go to see something that I used to think was Transformers, but it was something along those lines. I don't know. Maybe I wrote that. I don't know. Anyway, about 10, 20 minutes into our movie, I go to the bathroom because I am now in a full-blown argument with my then boyfriend, who is breaking up with me because he is swearing that I'm at the movies with a dude. Obviously, I am not. But he was very insecure, and it was just an ongoing thing with us. So we broke up that day, and I was devastated because, what? I got dumped. Anyway, Walk out the bathroom, and Superman is sitting there on the bench. And he goes, no one should ever make you cry like that. Okay, thank you. And he's like, nah, you know what I'm saying? I'm young, but like, no man should ever make you feel like that. He had braces. So I'm like, again, thank you. And I go on about my business and I go back to the movie. And I'm in the movie doing all of this, of course, on my little aim, my little sidekick. But by the end of the movie, I'm just kind of over it. So we're walking out the theater and they're leaning on the car like they're in Boys in the Hood. So we're walking across the street and his cousin comes up to me, which is the one with the acne problem. And he goes, hey, you know, my cousin trying to holler at you. And I was like, well, why is your cousin not over here? So he calls him over. And yes, we exchanged numbers. And yes, it probably was because, not even probably, it was because I was trying to make my now ex jealous. It is what it is. I was 24, whatever. So his first text to me was, hey, this is real name, the tall guy. So if you've ever seen me put TG on something or like heard about that nickname, that's where that came from. So anyway, fast forward, 2 months go by and I have not gone out with him. I haven't really said too much to him outside of like AIM and, you know, T-mail. So I was just being an asshole. Well, realizing that my relationship is now over for real. My dad is like, well, why not just go and like hang out? You know, he's like, you don't have to like do anything. He's like, but just hang out. You know, have like some male companionship. Not like that, but just someone to hang out with and have fun that enjoys doing like goofy shit like me. So we decide that we're going to go to the movies at Festival Bay, which is now changed names probably like 20 times. But we go to those movies, and I'll never forget this day because this is when I felt the shift. But it was a man and his son. And the son ran up to me and was like, oh my God, you're a magic dancer. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I am. That never happened, y'all. People don't know the magic dancers here. Like, no, for real. People don't know the magic dancers at all. So I was like taken aback, and he asked if he could take a picture. He pulls out a real camera and he takes a picture. After that day, there was a shift. I started getting invited to promos, to fashion shows, to theme parks, like, you know, team events. I was everywhere. And I had stated a few times that I was thinking about going back to dance, and he was against it. So I did a brand ambassador tour with Chairman on Dr. Pepper, came back, and I said, I've made up my mind. Like, I'm doing this. And was he being supportive of things that I was doing? Yes. He was at the fashion shows that I did with Gaucher. Yes, that Gaucher. Hey, girl. He was coming to my parties. I mean, he was around. So I'm not going to say like he wasn't doing anything. He was. But I wanted my career. I went back. The team took me back, knowing what our history was. I danced that year. The next year I said I wanted to go to Miami. I said I wanted to dance for the Heat. That was my dream team, either there or the Dallas Cowboys. And both of those he was completely against, and I had no idea why. He would offer like our suggestions for other teams, but never those two. Just completely against anything in Texas and Miami. Now you'll know why. I auditioned for the team. I make it. Yay me. And after a couple weeks, there's a couple girls that are just treating me weird, and I didn't know why. Well, I ended up finding out that he had cheated on me with one of my teammates who used to live in Texas, but now was coming to the Heat. And he had been trying to get both of us to not say anything. Anyway, broke up with him and was trying to live my best life, y'all. Really was, right? And I ended up getting in an argument with one of my best friends on the team that you all know as Super Black Girl, Tracy. Got in an argument with her, so I was suspended for 2 weeks. So I went to Mexico with my DJ friend. And we had time of our life, whatever, came back, and my phone is blowing up. My little sidekick. And it's him. And I'm asking for advice from my DJ friend, and he's like, hey, just go and talk to him. Just see what he got to say. just hear him out. Like, maybe he really is sorry. Okay. I go to the hotel, and at first he wasn't in there because he was at like team meetings. But then he comes in, and we're in there and we're talking, and he's pleading his case and asking for forgiveness, talking about how much he loves me and that he'll never do it again, that I'm the one for him, I'm perfect this, perfect that, all these things, y'all. And I said I would think about it. I said, I'll talk to you later. So I walk to the room, or I walk to the door, and he pulls me back with my arm, and he's like, well, can I at least have a hug? Sure. That hug turned into kissing and touching and our child being conceived. I did not know I was pregnant until about a little over a month later when I was in practice, and one of the funny story, ended up marrying the head coach. So after practice, I go to Walgreens and I buy a pregnancy test, and I take it home, take the test, call my brother's then girlfriend, wait for the results, and when I see them, I start bawling. I literally lost it. I saw my entire career just
Sorry, guys.
disappear. And I was devastated. I called my mom in the same state of mind. She's losing it. She's freaking out until I finally tell her, like, I'm pregnant. She goes, oh, I thought you killed somebody. That's how hard I was crying. She asked me if I had told him, and I said, I've been texting him. I've been texting his cousin. I've been texting his best friend, and nobody was responding. And I said, Mom, I cannot be a mother. And I said, please help me. Like, I cannot be a mom. I'm not ready to be a mother. And she was like, well, you're going to have to tell your dad. So for 2 days, I waited for a response. And when I finally got one, the response was, I was asleep. I responded, for 2 days, you just played a game in Milwaukee last night. And then he responded, I thought you were on birth control. Hey, y'all.
Okay, that was part 1. We're going on to part 2. Thanks for being here. Smash the buttons. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already.
Story about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004 to now, all because I had a baby by Superman, part 2. Take the test. My brother's name. I thought you were on birth control. I'd like for it to be noted that I had not been on birth control our entire relationship. He was very aware, and also as to why he was not against it. Also, I'd like for it to be noted that there was no attempt to pull out that particular day, whereas in the past, he would move so fast that he would run into the dresser drawers. So let's continue. About a week went on, and there was a little bit of communication, and the communication was regarding terminating the pregnancy. I was told that he would help me. I just needed to get to Orlando, and we would do it there. I said, okay, not a problem. Just know it has to be a quick turnaround because I have to get back to work, and I can't let my parents know. Please understand, I had no idea how abortions worked at all. So I'm thinking that I could just get up and turn around. Anyway, communication ceased again. Now I'm having to talk to my parents. I talked to my mom again. She was adamant about me telling my dad. So I told my dad, and my dad was like, huh. And I'm like, huh, what? He goes, all right. And I said, well, I don't want you to worry because I'm not going to keep the baby. I'm going to terminate pregnancy, and then I'm going to finish the season out. I'm going to go to Vegas. I'm going to fulfill this contract that I got with Treasure Island. Like, I had all these plans, and I was going to pursue my career. And he was like, no. He was like, you're going to put that on hold. And I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, you were woman enough to lay down. You're going to be woman enough to keep this baby. Now, back then, it wasn't a decision that was just easily made where you could just go to a clinic. Okay. It was also extremely expensive, especially for someone who was dancing on basketball courts in booty shorts and a half top. So my mom did not give me the money, and I was now stuck. And I was asking friends. I was trying to just figure out anything I could do. It even got to the point where I was drinking magnesium citrate, or I was trying to use a hanger. It was bad. It was bad. But when I went to the doctor and I heard the heartbeat, that is when things were put into a bigger perspective for me. I don't know what it is, but when you hear that heartbeat, it changes you. And I knew then that I was going to be a mom. And so now it's time to tell Superman that he is having a baby. And as you can imagine, that message was not received well. And I was met with a bunch of, oh, you're tarnishing my image, you're ruining my career. I'm a Christian, what I look like having a baby, and I'm trying to put the cross on the NBA logo. How could you do this to me? You're a gold digger. Oh, yeah, I was hit with everything, y'all. Like I didn't have a prayer. But because none of those changed my mind, he then hits me with, and I have a girlfriend. Okay. I've always had a girlfriend. Oh, wow. Okay. So now I'm realizing, y'all, that not only is this person a completely different person than I thought he was, but I've realized that he is a master manipulator and he will do any and everything to get exactly what he wants. I didn't fall for it. And because I didn't fall for it, I was then met with hell on earth. When I was about 4 or 5 months pregnant, I was asked to attend a meeting at a restaurant right around the corner from my townhome. I agreed to it, and when I got there, one of the first things said to me was, "You don't look pregnant." I said, "Thank you." They said, "No, because you have your belly ring in still." Mind you, I had already had this conversation before about wearing a belly ring while I was pregnant. I just liked it. But then they said that it just looks like you're poking your stomach out. Why am I here? Like, what the fuck y'all got going on? What do you want? Right? We sit down, and in this meeting is his manager, his cousin, himself. I am then offered money. I'm asking what the money is for. I'm thinking that maybe it's to help me with my pregnancy. No. I was asked to move away and say that this baby was not his. Twice. I declined. They got angry. I was then approached by the team office and they wanted me to come in and have a sit down conversation and do a prenatal paternity test. My doctor said absolutely not. Therefore, I said no. It was dangerous. And once the baby came, I was not opposed to doing so. For the next couple months, I got ready for a baby shower. I got ready with my baby registry. And every time I did anything, I was met with false accusations. I was threatened with the baby registry. I was told to take his name off of there. And I did. For the baby shower invitations, I was told to take the name off of there. So I did. But I still was getting threatened. I was still receiving anonymous messages on MySpace and Twitter. And I didn't know what to do. Around early November, I started having really bad complications with my pregnancy, and I was put on bed rest. I didn't listen, but I was put on bed rest. As hard as it was to sit still, it was something that I knew I needed to do because I could tell something was wrong. On November 16th, I had a doctor's appointment, and my doctor was like, "You need to go to the hospital, and they need to put you on the monitor. Stop letting them tell you that you're dehydrated." I said, "Okay, cool." We go to the hospital. They still don't put me on the monitor, and I'm just over it, and I go home. Around 3:33 that next morning, November 16th, I woke up to excruciating pain. I threw something down the stairs. My brother came up, who had been staying with me. I told him I needed to go to the hospital. We go to the hospital. They finally put me on a monitor, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're having contractions for real." No shit. They say that they're going to admit me. I said, "Until how long?" They said, "Until you have this baby." Oh, cool. Tell my mom everything. This is also during Classic Weekend. 54 and a half hours, I was in labor, and my child was delivered via C-section. They knew the day that I went into the hospital, they knew the complications I was having. They knew that the child's heart rate had been dropping, and not one person cared. Not one person responded to that at all. But when they found out that the baby was born, an immediate message came through. to my mother asking for a picture. Hey y'all, I'm Royce. I'm a little under the weather, but I'm gonna get this out.
Sorry, guys.
Hey y'all, it's Royce.
We were up to 7 minutes here.
But hey, go off. I was thinking that maybe that was going to be a start to something better, but it was actually the gateway to hell. For the next 3 days, I stayed in the hospital, and not one time did I receive a visit from him or anyone in his family, but his girlfriend actually did stop by unannounced and uninvited with a bag of bibs talking about we needed to speak. I said, no, we don't. Asked her to leave, and she left. It was cool. Well, a few days later, I was discharged from the hospital the day before Thanksgiving, actually. And on Thanksgiving, we go to my cousin's every single year, who stayed right around the corner from him. He kept saying that
I'm trying to get her subtitles
that he
included.
was around the corner, that he was about to ring the doorbell. All these things, kept saying that he was coming by. Y'all, he never showed up. Had asked me to take it at their offices, and I said, hell no, because I don't trust him. A week later, I was discharged from the hospital the day before Thanksgiving, actually. And on Thanksgiving, we go to my cousin's every single year, who stayed right around the corner from him. He kept saying that he was going to come by, that he was around the corner, that he was about to ring the doorbell. All these things, kept saying that he was coming by. Y'all, he never showed up. We then ended up taking a paternity test at a neutral location, even though the team had asked me to take it at their offices, and I said, hell no, because I don't trust them. We took it at a neutral location. The results came back on Christmas Eve. He acted like he was excited, wanted to see the baby the next day, Christmas. I said, cool. Christmas comes. He's like, who all over there? And he wanted to see him by himself. I said, absolutely not. I'm not telling my family to leave. They're my support system. So they stayed. He comes in. He's with his cousin. His cousin is taking all these pictures. I'm not taking pictures. His cousin's taking pictures. Next thing we know, a few days later, these pictures that his cousin has taken, one in particular where he's laying on the sofa and our child is on his shoulder, has now gone, like, I guess back then, viral. And everybody now knows that Superman has a baby. Hey y'all, it's Royce. And this is my story.
Okay, so this is Royce Reed. Thanks for coming through to LRGA Curves today. Make sure you smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. If you haven't already, ring my bell so you can get notified when I go live. Dr. Heavenly will be here on January 15th at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific for a live interview. So make sure you have your guys' bell rung. But this right here is the Royce Reed story. And I started off today with an actual live TikTok that Royce Reed was doing, talking about they better leave me alone or I'm going to drop the rest of the receipts. So we watched the rest of that live. And then we looked at the receipts that she's been dropping on her TikTok page, which are text threads, which are cease and desists. And all of this has happened because of this right here. When did this get posted? Let me see. Let's make it small. Can I scooch it? Let me click on there. Oh, let me do this. So this is from 12/28/24. She did a story time on her TikTok page with her side of the story finally. And that was in response to some other bullshit that she felt she had endured. So she was like, fuck it, I'm going to tell my story. And I had seen a little bit of it and I heard a lot about it. And then I know Dwight Howard was talking back. But you know, LRGA Curves, we're about love and light. This is just a little drama. I'm sharing this because I'm with Team Truth all the time. Team Truth. And if Royce Reed's truth includes that Superman is a deadbeat dad, then that's something that needs to get out. And I don't think anybody should be ceasing and desisting shit about her lived experience. If he didn't want it to be out that he was a deadbeat dad and a whore, then he shouldn't have been acting that way because she experienced this. And who are they to try to have her shut the fuck up? So we're over here with Truth and Light today. Thank you very much. Let's move on to part 3.
it's Royce. And this is my story.
So we were supposed to be on part 3.
Hey y'all, it's Royce. And I'm back again to tell you about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004, and still now, all because I had a baby by Superman, part 3. We are now in January of 2008, and I am at my cousin's house, the same cousin that stays around the corner from him. He calls and he says that he wants to come and have a talk with me. I said, okay. He comes by. Superman is bearing gifts. There's a brand new car outside for me, a Lexus SUV, a brand new sidekick phone, and he offers to buy me a house. After talking it over with my dad, mom, it was absolutely not, because the house is not going to be in your name, and it's something that he can take from you at any moment if he gets mad. So I declined it. He then said, well, let me refurnish your townhouse. Okay, I was not asked about any type of furniture. They just showed up at my door one day and just started bringing stuff in. No lie, I had no say so. When it came down to me needing diapers and bottles and now formula, because I'm no longer able to breastfeed, my body wasn't producing enough milk. His mom did at one point come by with a bunch of diapers. I was very thankful. But that was it. There was nothing else. There was no help. There was nothing. At this point, I auditioned for a dancing gig at Holy Land. And I got the gig, so I began dancing in late January. So now I have a job. I'm working. On the days that I had to work, my child was with my parents. And on occasion, he would be with his father and the nanny and his girlfriend. Well, there were days where he would come home from seeing or spending time with his father, and he would be very colicky, throwing up, like sick. Fevers. I had to take him to the doctor. It was a lot. That relationship he was in ended. I find out later on that the reason my child was returned super colicky, sick, throwing up, all these things, only to then be told it was because they were purposely giving him food that was opposite of what he was eating. I would pack a bag and I would have it listed of what he should be eating for lunch, for dinner, all these things. And he was intentionally given the opposite. So when he would be returned home, he was sick, colicky, throwing up, having to go to the hospital. When I confronted the situation, I was told that that was a lie and that it was only done because they thought I was trying to micromanage, and they decided that they were just going to give him whatever they wanted to give him. Okay, I let it go, y'all. Now, again, we've had the birthday party. We've had our Christmas. Things seem to be going okay, right? We've now gone to mediation. In mediation, we agreed to a child support number, and it was drastically, probably a third of what one of my attorneys was requesting. I said that I didn't want to seem like I was out for his money, so I was okay with the amount that was given. Totally fine. Moving forward, I start dating. Now all of a sudden it's, I think we should make this work. This is your first kid. This is, my first kid. Let's make this work. Now, this is where I could probably be stupid. Well, I was dumb. I saw family. And I am a very forgiving person. If you know anything about me, I forgive way too much. So we decided to work on a relationship. Crazy, right? But we did. Almost immediately, I regretted it. I was forced to do things sexually that I did not necessarily agree with. But because I wasn't that experienced, I thought it was normal. And I never complained about it. I just felt like this was me experiencing things that maybe he has experienced and I have not. That's when things started turning verbally and physically and also mentally abusive. I was told that I was stupid. I was told that nobody would ever want me. I was told that everybody here loved him and hated me. And how does it feel to have my hometown turn on me? I better not ever leave him. If I left him ever, he would make my life a living hell. And he did. There were days that I would be at his home and I was threatened with a knife, and then it was laughed off. But when the knife was in my face, it was, I could kill you right now and get away with it because I could claim self-defense and they would believe me and not you because who are you? That happened. He came to my house one day to pick up our child, and because I did not have a backpack or orange Trident gum or soda in my refrigerator, he followed me into our child's closet and he grabbed me and he pushed me to the floor and said, in the future, I better have his bag waiting. I then left. I go out into the family room and I'm telling his best friend, the one that's an inch away from being a little person, and I'm like, get your friend. He's going crazy. What's wrong with him? Well, he comes in there and he, in front of his best friend, as well as my goddaughter, my other goddaughter, he grabs my hair and he forces me to the floor. And he's like, who the are you talking to? Our child, who is not even 2 yet, is thinking he's playing. So he's grabbing at his leg with his baby voice and he throws me into the entertainment center. When he threw me into the entertainment center, it broke the door. So I was flung into the one on the right, and our son, who was grabbing him and like thinking he was playing, he then flung him into the other door. I do not think that was intentional. I don't think he knew his own strength, but that's what he did, and it did break that door as well. Our son started crying. His best friend was like, man, what you doing? Like, that's a female. And he's just not caring. That's when I realized, like, oh my God, I'm in a relationship that I swore I would never be in. Now, moving on, the day that I really wanted to leave was a day where I did not want to have relations with him. And he then forced me to give him fellatio. I know you're wondering, how does someone force you into doing that? When you are dealing with someone that is that big and you are that small and you're terrified of them and they have gotten away with so much and doing so many things, and you're still the one made out to be crazy and bitter, you're probably willing to do just about anything just to get through it. And that's where I was. After that, another nanny came into the picture. I knew this nanny was not okay. When she would drop our child off, he would sit in the doorway and he was hitting himself. Or he would be in the bathtub and he would be playing with himself in a really weird way that just didn't seem right. Of course, he was little, so he couldn't really vocalize things. But yeah, I could tell something wasn't right. There was the day where I invited her inside and I sat her down and I said, I just need to talk to you. And I said, have you ever put your hands on my son? And she swore up and down no. And I said, well, why is he sitting in the doorway hitting himself or playing with himself in the bathtub? And she was like, oh my God, I don't know. Why would you even ask me something like that? I said, because I want to know. She swore up and down that she had never put her hands on my son in an inappropriate way or even as a disciplinarian. I said, okay. And I said, but if I find out that you have ever put your hands on my son, we're going to have a problem. She asked me if that was a threat. I said, no, it's not a threat. It's a promise. She then went back and told them that I threatened her. And I told them the same thing, that I didn't threaten her, that I made a promise. And that's when things started getting hidden from me about what was going on at that house with my child. But I found out anyway. This is also around the time that Basketball Wives was coming to fruition.
So, ladies and gentlemen, curvy crew, happy 2025 to you. This is Royce Reed of Basketball Wives, and she's telling her story of her experience with Dwight Howard. This comment says Dwight Howard was diabolical, and I believe every word she says. He's a straight weirdo. Get that book deal, girl. So I'll go ahead and give her a follow. I liked her on Basketball Wives. She was a feisty one. Remember how feisty Royce was on Basketball Wives? I appreciated her. And I love that she had her natural hair and that she wasn't all BBL'd and she didn't succumb and had like this natural confidence. Come to find out she was going through all of this. Now that makes me appreciate her strength on that show even more because she could have been a broke down hoe on that show. And instead, I feel like she was very held her own. I appreciate her now. I mean, I appreciated her before, but I appreciate her in a new way. Coming to find out that this was her struggle. She got talked out of her panties, inseminated, bamboozled, and then led amok. We're up to the part where she was led amok. And now she's getting ready to decide to leave his ass, I guess, by part 4, by 2008. So we're going to look at part 4. Trigger warning real fast. Trigger warning. This content today does depict violence, graphic language, and sexual violence, as well as SA. So far, things that she's mentioned as far as her experience. These are her firsthand accounts of what she's saying she lived through with Dwight Howard. How she even came to have his son. Okay? So now we're up to the nanny who she thinks may have been touching her son inappropriately because he started getting home playing with himself and smacking himself. So she just asked the nanny, have you ever put your hands on my son? And she's like, nope. She's like, okay, don't let me find out otherwise. The nanny said, is that a threat? She said, no, it's a promise. So now we're going to go on to part 4. Thanks for being here. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button if you haven't already.
It's Royce, and I'm here to tell you how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004, up until even now, all because I had a baby by Superman, part 4. So I need to go back through 2009 a little bit more in depth because that's where a lot of your questions are. So the first part of 2009, I'll say the first quarter, I am confiding in Shawnee. I'm talking to her about pretty much everything I'm going through. She was one of the first people I told that I was pregnant, so I really thought I had a friend. When it came down to me telling her that Superman had reached out about trying to work things out, it was do what you feel is best for you and your son, follow your heart, don't listen to what people have to say, nothing biased. So I decide to work things out. As we're working things out, there are also conversations about a reality show. When I discussed it with him, he was all for it. He wanted to do it. He was excited about it. Hey, y'all. It's Royce.
Sorry.
Hey, y'all. It's Royce, and I'm here to tell you how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004, up until even now, all because I had a baby by Superman, part 4. So I need to go back through 2009 a little bit more in depth because that's where a lot of your questions are. So the first part of 2009, I'll say the first quarter, I am confiding in Shawnee. I'm talking to her about pretty much everything I'm going through. She was one of the first people I told that I was pregnant, so I really thought I had a friend. When it came down to me telling her that Superman had reached out about trying to work things out, it was do what you feel is best for you and your son. Follow your heart. Don't listen to what people have to say. Nothing biased. So I decide to work things out. As we're working things out, there are also conversations about a reality show. When I discussed it with him, he was all for it. He wanted to do it. He was excited about it. I told Shawnee, and easy sell. So during this time, we are working on our relationship. We are out in public. I mean, I'm going to the games. Our son is wearing his jersey. We had a Magic Dancer reunion. It was just a lot going on. I am buying a house. I am shooting a sizzle reel in Miami for the show. And that's when the verbal assault started. But I took my ass to LA and I went and I pitched that show to all those different networks. And I talked about how great of a relationship I was in. And I just knew I got it sold. I get back home and I find out that I have been cheated on with several women. All that I kept thinking in my head was, this man does not like to use condoms. I went off. I went to the clinic, I got tested, and I went off on Twitter. I mean, woo! I was letting his ass have it, y'all. Of course, he got pissed off, and we, broke up. And then a couple days later is when he comes by the house, and he's supposed to be picking up our son. He's mad because I would usually have a backpack and some of his favorite snacks in my house, but we're not together, so why the fuck would I have that? But anyway, obviously, he's in a bad mood, so I'm just trying to ignore his attitude. He's yelling in the house like, oh, I'm ready to go. And where's this bag? And I'm like, it's in the closet. He goes to the closet and I'm asking him like, yo, you good? Like, you okay? Because you acting real strange. He turns around and proceeds to tell me how stupid and useless I am, how I'm worth nothing, how nobody will ever want me. No man is ever going to want to be with me. How I'm the best that he could ever get. I'll be back. All these things. That's when I go into the family room and I tell his friend, like, yo, get your friend. He asked me how I'm the best that he could ever get. I'll be back. All these things. That's when I go into the family room and I tell his friend, like, yo, get your friend. He acting crazy. Like, what's wrong with him? And he comes out. That's when he grabs my hair, flings me into the entertainment center. Same thing with our son. I told this story in part 3. I don't really want to have to rehash it, but before they left, obviously his friend is saying, hey man, stop as a female, but he's still screaming and calling me every name besides the one I was given. They then pick up our son and they leave. I'm now left to have this conversation about what just happened with my goddaughter. After that, I then had to pick up our son from his house, and I'm sorry, y'all. I do not know why I laugh or smile when I'm talking my trauma. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I know it looks weird. I know it looks crazy. I don't know if it's a coping mechanism. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm trying. I don't know why I do that, but they leave with our son, and like I said, I have to now go and pick him up from his house after this visitation, and I'm in his room, and that's when the knife situation happened. It should also be noted that prior to me going to pick up our son, we had a few conversations, and I forgave him again. So I get to the house, and he asks me to come into his room. I go, he closes the door, and he pulls a knife out on me. He says, I could really kill you right now and claim self-defense, and they would believe me because everyone loves me here and they hate you. To attempt to rewrite history is crazy because those of you who were at the house that day know exactly what happened. But maybe that hypnotism did work. So he comes over to the house about a week or so later, and we're hanging out with our son, watching a movie in the family room. Remember, we're trying to work things out. And I go to the bathroom. When I come out the bathroom, he's in the bedroom. He wants to have sex. I say, no, my cycle is on. He says he wants head. And I say, no, our son is right there in the other room. He proceeds to get up. He shuts the door. He comes over to me. and he pushes me down to the floor like he did before, and he proceeds to ram his waist into my face. If you can imagine what that feels like, think about someone punching you in your nose at 6'11", 200 pounds, and their pants are still on. Think about that happening over and over and over again to you. You're now in tears. Your son is in the next room. You've already basically been told that you're hated by your hometown, so call the police on Superman? Clark Kent? Baby Jesus of Orlando? No, you can't do that. Okay, so that situation happened, and that is what ultimately led me to leave the relationship. Not soon after that, the show got picked up. And that's when contracts started going around and our attorneys started speaking with each other. And because I was still signed on to do the show and he was not, they were concerned about what I was going to say on the show. So they were like, well, we just want to make sure that she doesn't say anything bad about him because of his career. And we don't want any type of, defamation. And of course, I'm like, well, is it defamation if it's true? But okay. And then it was also me saying, well, I don't plan on that being my storyline. I don't have to talk bad about him. I don't really have to talk about him at all. The next day, my attorney calls me to his office and he's like, hey, you need to get here as soon as possible. I need you to sign this agreement. And I was like, what agreement? He said, the agreement about what we talked about yesterday with you and Superman. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I get in my car, and I think I was even at the park because I was close. But I get to his office, and it's not even 4:50 yet. It's like 4:40 something. And he's like, sign this agreement. So I'm looking at it first. I'm trying to at least skim it. And he goes, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just checking I'm supposed to read everything. So he says it's basically the conversation that we had had, a couple of days prior, just in writing. I said, okay. I signed the paper. I trusted him to my detriment. He then goes, hurry up, we got to go. I'm like, okay. So we're rushing out of the office. I'm right behind this man, and we go to get in the car. He's like, what you doing? I was like, you said we got to go. And he was like, well, not you. I was like, what do you mean, not me? He was like, you're not dressed appropriately. I had on an orange tank top and jeans and sneakers. This man went to court, and rather than me not be there for the judge to ask me if I knew what I was signing, for the judge to go through the different provisions of what that agreement said, and me have to agree to it, my attorney did that. You want to know what that agreement said? That I could not say his name, any type of insinuation, his middle name, nobody in his family's name, his friend's name. I couldn't even say my son's name, y'all. And if anybody in the room was even talking about him, I would have to leave. And it said not till death, but till death and the end of time. That attorney later withdrew as my attorney. But there's a new agreement in place.
Okay, that says next up, part 5-6, end of 2009 to 2013. Filming Basketball Wives, Pool Party, Porn Stars, Dick Pics, Dating Wendy Williams, Lawsuit times lawsuit times lawsuit. You really took my mom's life savings. Baby number 2 and baby number 3. Save my child from the nanny judge. Who's this Christian girl? What happened to the pastor? He's leaving Orlando? I got to send our son where for 6 weeks?
My attorney had to remind me, it's not about the little battles. It's about the war.
Going right on. Trigger warning again, you guys.
Royce, and I'm here to tell you a story about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004 to even now, all because I had a baby by Superman, part 5. I think it's also important to note when people ask, well, why couldn't you all try? Hey, y'all.
Sorry.
It's Royce.
I did that last time too.
Hey y'all, it's Royce, and I'm here to tell you a story about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004 to even now, all because I had a baby by Superman, part 5. I think it's also important to note when people ask, well, why couldn't you all try and work this out? Y'all needed therapy. We were actually given a parenting coordinator, and I went to all the appointments. He went to one. He stopped showing up. So she ended up writing a letter stating that she could not do her job because of his failure to participate. So we are now at the end of 2009, and unbeknownst to me, this agreement I've signed has just basically destroyed my life. Well, not only am I fighting him in civil court, but I'm also fighting him in family court. They are filing all these motions claiming that I am denying visitation when half the time they asked for it, he wasn't even in town. But what does that mean? More attorney fees, more court costs. So every time a motion was filed, we had to answer. During this time, I am also dealing with one of his minions that is going on the internet and threatening to fight me at my son's birthday party. She was saying that someone was going to end up at the 33rd Street jail, that they needed to have her bail money because there was going to be trouble. I am expressing my concern regarding this person, and finally, it was agreed that she would not come. So now here we are in the first quarter of 2010, and I'm filming the show. I am living my best life. I am outside. I am dancing at pool parties. And here comes another lawsuit. What does that mean? Another set of retainer fees. There goes my first check. So the second quarter of 2010, I am getting drained with attorney fees. I'm fighting him in family court as well as civil court. And I'm also doing promo for the show. I am now asked to go on the Wendy Williams show. Not as a guest, but as a how you doing girl. She asked me if my son's father was Superman. I said yes. I'm now sued. I am sued for $500 million. As I'm dealing with this latest lawsuit and people are laughing at me all over the internet and wishing hell on me, hoping that I go to jail, calling me every name in the book, I am also getting harassed by the same person who threatened to fight me at my son's birthday party. She is sending me messages about, ha ha ha, how does it feel to not be number one anymore? How does it feel to know you're not the only one? Don't you feel stupid? And what was she talking about? We have welcomed baby number 2, a little girl born in June of 2010. In September of 2010, there was another lawsuit. What does that mean? More money, in which at this point I did not have. He won. There was a writ of garnishment that was made out for November of 2010, and they went and looked for every single account that I had, and they took everything from me. Not only did they do that, they found the account that I had with my mother since I was a little girl, the very first account I ever had, and she was attached to it. It wasn't even an account that I used anymore. But because they didn't get anything out of that account from me, they took everything from her. They took my mom's entire savings. In the early part of 2011, I released my book, College Girls. I was hosting parties. I had a boyfriend, the one that bought me the dog. I was doing a weekly blog for the show. I was in Detroit doing the play Cheaters. I was hustling, y'all. Come June of 2011, wouldn't you know, by the grace of God, out pops Superman and Sister C. This one is a Christian. She is modest. She is a beautiful girl, all natural, and I mean, very Little House on the Prairie. Perfect for his image. He is getting baptized. He is giving himself to God. He is in love. Visitations seem as if they are becoming more consistent, so I'm grateful. August comes, and because visitation has become a little bit more consistent, my son is now waiting for him on the curb. Yes, just like the little picture of the kids sitting on the curb with a lunchbox waiting for their parent that never comes. That was my child, the one and only time I allowed him to do that. But nobody called to say that they weren't coming. And because I turned into the FBI, I find bitches instantly. I went on Twitter. because I wanted to know where he was. And this was around the time where people were putting all their business out there. So I saw a picture, and he was in New Jersey. He was on a basketball court with his Pastor Zachary Timms. Oh, I had to go back to my calendar, and I was making sure that this was a day that he was supposed to have our son. And it was, and I reached out to my attorney. I sent the picture to my attorney, and I'm like, what is going on? There was no response. So the next day, I get back on the internet because I want to see if there's at least a timeline of a return, because my plans have now changed, but it's always been that way. Well, all of a sudden, the Twitter page went from 10,000 plus tweets to 10, 20. What happened? Did he find out that I saw that he was in New Jersey and didn't get our son for visitation? No. I then see a headline that says, Pastor Zachary Timms is no longer with us. Oh. For the rest of that year, I minded my business. Although I was still fighting in court and talking about this nanny and being told I was a liar, I kept my mouth shut. Well, now we're in January of 2012, and I am dating my football player, and I am happy. A picture comes out of him taking a nap with my son. Fully clothed, very innocent picture. The narrative that is given is that my boyfriend was being inappropriate with him. They took that narrative and they ran with it for weeks. They didn't care that it could destroy this person's character, his career, his reputation, nothing. It wasn't about the nanny who was actually being inappropriate. It was about a distraction. Why? Well, in February, that is when I was made aware that he was leaving Orlando. And then in March, here comes baby number 3. Baby number 3 is over a year old. Baby number 3 is a little girl. Baby number 3 was born the same year as baby number 2. We are now in April of 2012, and Superman is having back surgery in California, and I'm ecstatic that he is no longer here because I'm thinking he's going to leave me alone. He does not. I am hit with another lawsuit. In this lawsuit, I am almost immediately demanded to send my child to California for 6 weeks. I get 1 week of visitation. Yes, I was forced to send my child to California for 6 weeks to be with a person that he has not seen in 6 months, even when he was in Orlando. That visitation exchange was probably one of the worst situations I've ever had to endure. I watched my child hyperventilate. I watched my child scream. I watched my child reach for me to take him, and I had to let him go. I was given a visit halfway through, and I saw the same exact thing. And I was also there with one of my dancer friends that I dance with in Miami, who I also dance with sometimes when I take a heels class. They were there to console me because I could not, in my mind, save my child. After that visitation, I was hit in court with more motions, more visitation requests for days that he was not even in town. And there was one time where we actually did communicate and came up with a visitation schedule, and flights had already been made, but his attorneys wanted to go to court claiming that I was denying visitation. I went to court that day and I showed the judge that we already had the flight information. His attorneys sat there and were acting so oblivious as if they had no idea. In 2013, I'm hit with more court filings and requests to produce as usual. But around April, I'm hearing rumors of another baby. Well, come June, that baby is born, a little boy. And I say on Twitter, congratulations, happy birthday. This baby was born in California, my little house on the prairie, Sister C, and he has now been traded to Houston. Hey y'all, it's Royce, and I'm here to tell you a story about how my life changed beginning July. all the same exact thing. And I was also there with one of my dancer friends that I dance with in Miami, who I also dance with sometimes when I take a heels class. They were there to console me because I could not, in my mind, save my child. After that visitation, I was hit in court with more motions, more visitation requests for days that he was not even in town. And there was one time where we actually did communicate and came up with a visitation schedule, and flights had already been made, but his attorneys wanted to go to court claiming that I was denying visitation. I went to court that day and I showed the judge that we already had the flight information. His attorneys sat there and were acting so oblivious as if they had no idea. In 2013, I'm hit with more court filings and requests to produce as usual. But around April, I'm hearing rumors of another baby. Well, come June, that baby is born, a little boy. And I say on Twitter, congratulations, happy birthday. This baby was born in California, my little house on the prairie, Sister C, and he has now been traded to Houston. Hey y'all, it's Royce, and I am here to tell you a story about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004, up until even now. And they were
Sorry, you guys couldn't hear that. Let me rewind it.
Sorry,
you guys couldn't hear that. Let me rewind it.
Literally in kindergarten, the first grade of grade school. Hey y'all, it's Royce, and I am here to tell you a story about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004, up until even now, all because I had a baby by Superman, part 6. We are now in the fall of 2013. I am getting my son prepared for kindergarten. I have actually gotten him tested, and he has been diagnosed with ADHD. For those of us with children who have ADHD and have taken medication for it, you know, ADHD medication is not something that you can start and just stop cold turkey. So there were visitations that were happening, and they were refusing to give him this medication. I was also against him traveling so much because he's literally in kindergarten, the first grade of grade school. So outside of my son having to travel on Friday nights to Sunday evenings just to get up for school the next day and go, I am now concerned because they are refusing to give him his medication. They lied and said that they had a doctor from Sarasota come and examine him. And when I spoke to that doctor in Sarasota, that doctor said that he absolutely did not examine my son. He only told them what the medications that he was taking were for. He also let them know that it was dangerous to stop the medication cold turkey. They did it anyway. And now we are moving into the summer of 2014. Our son has completed kindergarten and he is now going to visit his father for a few weeks in the summer. I find out that almost 3 days after our son arrived, he left. He had actually been gone for several weeks and I had no idea because nobody was communicating with me. When my son is finally returned home, I am actually at practice with my company, and my parents call and say that I need to get to their home immediately. I ask why, they won't tell me, they just express that it was extremely important. Of course, I leave, I get there, they tell me that my son has bruises all over his body. I go to hug him and me, and he goes, ouchie. I then look, I raise his shirt, he has a bruise on his stomach, he now has a bruise on his leg, on his inner thigh, and when I ask him what happened, he tells me his daddy did it. This is just a couple of days before he is to start first grade, so of course I am texting trying to figure out what happened and why, and I am being ignored. I am then told by my attorney that I need to take my child down to the Department of Children and Families. I do that, and they do a forensic interview. They talk to me, and they start asking me to contact Superman. I am doing so, and I am trying to tell him what is going on, and he is ignoring me until he finally responds and says that he doesn't have to tell me anything about why he disciplined or spanked our child. Because of that response, a case was opened. The case was almost immediately shut quietly. Because of my concern and because I said something publicly, the case was reopened. The case was then sent to Georgia because it happened in Georgia. It was sent to 3 different counties in Georgia until it got to the county that his uncle was the DA of, and the case was dropped. But I'm not saying that he had anything to do with it. As you can probably guess, at this point, visitation ceased. Communication did as well for the most part, except for the fact that they sent a picture around of me taking my son to Hooters for his birthday and made it seem as if I was a sick mother. In 2015, we barely communicated at all. There were no visitation requests. There was just a bunch of motions filed here and there, so of course, more money. As we get to the end of 2015, the communication doors are reopened, and Superman and I are communicating. It seems as if we are working on co-parenting. He asked if we can come to Houston in January of 2016, and I said yes. And when we get there, we're going to eat oysters, and as we're coming back, Superman is walking with a young lady that looks to be, I believe, Mexican with long hair, and she's holding the hand of this little boy with floppy hair. And he's trying to get out of her arms. He's just wild and crazy. As he's introducing her to me, he then introduces the little boy and says, "This is my son." What? He's 2. So now we have baby number 5, who was born the same year as baby number 4 in 2013. So this is the real reason why you haven't been bothering me. And I knew that to be a fact because she was actually going through court with him. And now we're trying to change the narrative. Well, I did befriend her, and we became very close, and she actually came down and celebrated my son's birthday with him. And I took him, my son, and also their sister to Fun Spot that year. We were also making trips to Atlanta because at this point he had been traded again and he was now with Atlanta. Also, let it be noted that Sister C and he had broken up. Unfortunately, this meant that I now had to deal with a crazy ass pastor and his wife that were constantly telling us how bitter we were and that we were gold diggers and that it wasn't about the kids and that we were worthless women who wanted him. We are now in 2018 and our son is playing sports, but he's also a junior striker, which is a hip hop dancer. His father did come to the show that year. It was in June. And after the show, he, along with some of his people and my people, we went to dinner. After dinner, a few friends of mine and I were supposed to go to the Pulse nightclub. We did not go to the Pulse.
Couture Bay, Dwight has been trashed. He stole all his kids from their mothers. And it sounds like it's for abusive reasons too. It's horrible, Couture. Happy New Year, Bay. Thanks for coming through.
When he told me her age, and I was taken aback, but to each his own, because who am I? Pot me kettle, right? A few months later, right around our son's birthday, a recording was released. And the recording was a man who was alleging to have had deeds with Superman and the pastor arguing on the phone. This is the same conversation where this person called Superman a 6'11" bottom. Well, now moving on to 2019, I realized that I like this girlfriend. She seems cool. She seems to keep him level-headed. He seems to be leaving me alone, and I'm all for it. Anytime we are having an argument or we seem like we can't communicate, it seems as if she's stepping in and she's really helping things out. So we good. Our son graduates from elementary school that year. He graduates with honors. She comes. There's a big family picture, and we keep it pushing. So I thought she was cool. I liked her. We had a cordial relationship. Well, next thing you know, the pandemic hits, and he is losing his mind. He is swearing that the world is going to end, and he has all of us in a group thread, and he's trying to get all of us to come to Georgia for quarantine. I said no. So did mama number two. So did mama number three. But mama number four and mama number five said yes. I then thought about it. I spoke to my boyfriend. He was still against it, so I stuck with no. Just a few days after that is when I'm on the internet and I see a bunch of prayer hands under mama number five's picture. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I get a call from mama number four, Sister C, and she tells me that mama number five has passed away. Of course, I pick up the phone and I start calling, and she's not answering, but I could not believe it. My dog is gone. She was the one that I was closest to. She was the one that I communicated the most with. I was heartbroken. After that, I am getting hounded even more so with phone calls about coming to Georgia for quarantine. At this point, because my heartstrings have been pulled, and because I have been in and out of court for years, I am waving my surrender flag. So I went to Georgia for quarantine, and it was the worst mistake I ever made in my entire life. Hey y'all, it's
Okay.
and I am here to tell you a story.
This story is very intriguing, and it's hers to tell.
All because I had a baby.
They're trying to make her stay quiet. She went live earlier this morning when we first started going live. We've been on for an hour and 22 minutes, and we started with her actual live that she was doing on TikTok because somebody was messing with her some more. She's like, look, I'm gonna have to drop some more receipts, because then we went and looked, and she had dropped some text message threads, and she dropped a cease and desist that she received. And so I was like, well, what's the cease and desist for? So now we're going back and we're looking at what they're trying to cease and desist, because it's her truth. Like, what the anyway. And I feel like she could even be safer the more people that know. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. Kotorbe says baby mama number 3 is never bothered. Oh, let me make this bigger. Sorry. Is never. There we go. Is never bothered. Why? Because she is white. Oh, really? Yes, to control the women. And Happy New Year, hon. Yes, definitely. Wow. And they have the nerve to call him Superman. Super Mitch. Anyway, let me make it smaller. Was she putting the words ahead of her? Oh, look, she's like, I'm going to finish it.
Story about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004, up until even now, all because I had a baby by Superman, part 6. We are now in the fall of 2013. I am getting my son prepared for kindergarten. I have actually gotten him tested, and he has been diagnosed with ADHD. For those of us with children who have ADHD and have taken medication for it, you know, ADHD medication.
This is part 7, right?
Hey y'all, it's Royce, and I'm here to tell you a story about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004 until even now, all because I had a baby by Superman, part 7. I decided to write a lot of this next part down because I wanted to make sure that I could recount everything in these last parts. So, excuse me for not constantly or consistently looking at the camera. February 2020, there is a text thread of conversations going on about possible quarantine in Georgia. This is what all of the mothers. Mother number 2 and number 3 said no. I ended up saying no after I spoke to my boyfriend, who is a traveling psychologist in the Bahamas. Damn, I fumbled that. A few weeks went on and the pandemic got worse. I got nervous. I got anxious, and going to my parents' house with all my pets was not an option. I looked for tickets to the Bahamas, but by then travel was restricted. In March of 2020, I am on Instagram and I see prayer hands under Mama number 5's Instagram. I'm confused. I get a phone call from Mama number 4, and she tells me that Mama number 5 has had a seizure and she has passed away. I'm devastated. Call from Superman, and he is distraught. He's crying. He is so upset. He can barely compose himself, and he is begging for us to come for quarantine. He says he has received all these revelations, and he wants to make sure that his family is taken care of, and he wants to go through therapy. I mean, he lays it on thick. And after speaking to my boyfriend, I agreed to go. After a 7-8 hour drive, I, along with our son and our mini zoo, arrived at the estate in Sewanee, Georgia. It was late, so after getting our things out of the car and taking them into the guest house, I was called for dinner. It was awkward. Everyone was acting normal, and I later learned that people in the home were a groundskeeper, a trainer, a self-proclaimed guru, the nanny, his 16-year-old goddaughter, myself, my child, Mama number 4, and baby number 4. After I was at that table, I couldn't take it anymore, and I asked, why now? What happened? And he states that it is because he has received all these revelations, that he feels as if the world ending is almost a sign for him to make good with all bad and just a lot of stuff. He really was also claiming that he wanted to be a better father, and he wanted to apologize to all of us because he was basically a hoe. I listened to it. I also asked the nanny about why she would not allow my son to speak to me, or they would take his phone and not return his phone. I had to take him to court for that. I'm really like, I'm confronting everybody because I cannot stay in a house or be on a property where I feel uncomfortable and certain things haven't been addressed. That's just me. Later on that day is when I realized that he smoked like Snoop. I mean, day in, day out. Over the next couple of days, I was bit by a Malinois dog, and I also was made privy to a conversation regarding a former teammate of his and the passing of another. We were told that this particular teammate had no emotion when he was on the plane and did not show emotion until he exited the plane and left in a private car. Why that was important for us to know, I have no idea, but maybe it was because I used to praise and still praise how great of a father he is to his kids and husband he is to his wife. I actually ended up having a talk with my Bahamian boyfriend, who was a psychologist, about this conversation, and he told me to immediately leave. He said, Royce, you're about to be manipulated and brainwashed. I didn't believe him. I thought he was jealous. I stayed. Of course, we ended up breaking up. Well, now we're discussing Mama number 5's funeral and who's going to go and who wants to go. And who ends up going is Mama number 4, myself, Superman, and the groundskeeper. Mind you, during all of this time, Superman is texting me about possibly becoming his matriarch and all the apologies that come, and him telling me that he was a changed man, that he's only and that he's not even me. If I need to repost those messages, I could do that. Well, now we're in Reno, and I see Mama number 3 rubbing his back one day at the Mama number 5's Mama's house. The next day, we are at the funeral. I'm taking pictures because he has not seen this little boy in months, and I'm trying to give him memories. Later on that evening, we go back to the family house and we all get drunk and we're taking edibles. I ended up getting served that night. Let me just say it. I did. Okay. While we're in Reno, we get a phone call that former basketball girlfriend is at the house and she's playing with our kids. We thought that was a little strange, but he said that she was crazy and that she was just trying to get him back. That same narrative. Of course, I didn't believe it, but go off. When we returned back from Reno, I'm basically being sold a Disney movie plot. Now, I just didn't know that it was going to end up being Bambi. Well, I'm being asked to move in, be his matriarch, and telling me that he's going to get our son a personal trainer. He's going to give me another dance studio. He's saying that he knows Tyler Perry and can introduce me and get me in movies. And y'all, you have to remember that at this point, I am waving my surrender flag. I'm listening to all of these things, and because I have lost in court so many times, I am honestly willing to fall into submission so my son can fly to success. I don't regret doing that. I don't regret following what my heart felt to be true. During this time, we are also taking family trips to the grocery store, to the park, to the sex store. And one day he decides that he wants to have a meeting with myself and mama number 4. He proceeds to basically try to sell us a polyamorous relationship. This was suggested by his guru. Well, mama number 4 ended up leaving immediately. I think she stayed maybe 2 more days and she was gone. She packed up her shit and she left. Me, I laughed it off because did you really think that this was going to work? I don't even go that way. I don't lick marbles. Oh, let me also say that baby number 5 and his grandmother are now in Georgia as well. He has now flown them into Georgia so he can spend time with his siblings. Just a little while after mama number 4 left, I went home because I wanted to celebrate Mother's Day with my mother. While I'm there, I'm getting text messages. I mean, love bombs, y'all. Again, I can post them again if I need to. But it's a bunch of I miss yous. It's I don't want to say it, but I love you. And then he pretended like he was texting a friend of his and was like, man, I can't believe how much I miss Royce. Okay. We still doing them little high school games, but that's what he was doing. And he was begging me to come back sooner than I planned. And what did I do? I left the next day. When I get back to Georgia, I am then seeing articles about how distraught he's been, how he's been crying himself to sleep, how the feeling of mama number 5 never coming back has really torn him up. And I'm confused because I had no idea that he was going through these feelings. I then befriended the groundskeeper because the groundskeeper knew mama number 5 very well. He proceeds to tell me that their relationship was actually pretty volatile, that they were in a court battle, that until recently there was no communication. He also let me know that when she was pregnant and when she had the child, she was forced to sleep on an air mattress and he would put her in a motel so people wouldn't know who she was or who the baby was. I was also made aware that he, in fact, did not pay for the funeral costs as he told mama number 5's family he would do. I started acting different, so he allowed me to invite a few friends over, and we swam in the pool, we had seafood, we watched movies, and we played games. After that, I woke up in hell. Hey y'all, it's Royce, and I'm here to tell you a story. Hey y'all, it's Royce, and I'm here to tell you a story about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004, up until even now, all because I had a baby by Superman, part 8. We are still in May of 2020, and they are shooting something called Celebrity Peep Show at his house, in which our son is involved. Well, after a couple days, I have a migraine, and I decide to take a midday nap. When I wake up from that midday nap, I will go outside the guest house, and it's beautiful outside. It's like a bluish orange. There's fireflies, but I see a bunch of cars and people everywhere. I'm wondering what the fuck is going on. We're supposed to be on quarantine. I see a familiar face, and I can clearly tell that he is on something. And then I see Superman. I see Superman throwing up over the balcony. I go up to Superman and I'm asking him what the fuck is going on. And he looks at me crazy and he starts yelling at me. The familiar face then goes off on him and calls him a bitch. They start arguing. I'm asking where our son is. He's not responding. I go inside. When I go inside, not only do I see a table full of mushrooms and peanut butter, I also see powder and a woman peeing in a seat. I immediately get scared and I run upstairs. I am looking for my son. I'm yelling his name. He's hiding. I see my son hugging his knees in the corner of his room. I ask him if he is okay. He says that he's fine and that he's just scared. I asked him, scared of what? He said, why is Daddy acting like that? I said, well, what do you mean? He was like, I was just hungry. I then asked my baby if he had been downstairs. And at first he didn't want to tell me. I asked him several times and I said, it's okay. I promise you it's okay. And he tells me that he went downstairs, but he was just hungry. I then asked him if he ate anything off of that table. I asked him over and over again. He said no. I grabbed my child, I went downstairs, and I went out the front door, back to the guest house, back to my room. The next day, I go outside to walk my dogs, and I see an argument. This is an argument between his guru and a friend of his named Callie. I am hearing Callie threaten this guru about trying him in an inappropriate way, and that he is going to shoot and kill him. He is going to come back and shoot up the entire house. I, of course, then go back upstairs and I text the groundskeeper and I ask what the hell is going on. Mind you, that particular night, the groundskeeper was minding his business as well as the nanny because they were off the clock. Well, I'm expressing to the groundskeeper what was being said, and as I'm stating this to him, we're looking outside and we start seeing police cars drive by. I pretty much freak out and I start running around the entire property picking up paraphernalia because who finna go to jail? Not me. Well, I'm being told that I'm doing too much. Then Callie starts posting YouTube videos. Callie is recounting the entire evening. He is also stating that one of the moms was there with her kid. But Callie is talking about how he was tried inappropriately and all the different walks of life that were in the house that evening. Once the YouTube video is shown to Superman, he brushes it off like it's nothing. What ends up happening? Oh, Callie is now banned from YouTube and he's also in Facebook jail. Soon after that, I get into a blowout argument with Superman. I am discussing the situation with this party. I'm discussing how he is with homeschooling and our child. I'm discussing his recklessness, and he just does not want to hear it. We are arguing, up and down. He's bringing stuff up from the past, and the trainer is there to mediate. The trainer is trying to calm him down. It is not working. There is a moment that you see in a person's eyes when you know that you got them fucked up. I saw that moment and I knew that that night was the night that I needed to go home. Or I at least needed to get off that property. So what I did was we packed up all of our stuff in our zoo. I then went and got Braylon out of the main house. And I begged for that trainer to let me out. And at 3:30 in the morning, he let me out. So I head to the Airbnb and I get a message that I can no longer check in early. I then have to call the trainer back. And he states that because there's no workplace safe really for me to just sit in a car for hours in that part of Georgia with a child, a car full of stuff, and animals to come back. So I went back. But I was told to hide around the corner to where he could not see my car. He was now assuming that I was gone. I did just that. And once I was able to check into the Airbnb, I sent a text, and so did the trainer. And when Superman was gone, I escaped. I stayed in an Airbnb for a couple of weeks, and I actually spent time with Jennifer Williams and Royce Morgan. Love y'all. It kept my head together. I'm forever grateful. When I started heading home, I called my family, I called my friends, called my attorney, and I called mama number 2. I told her what I had just done, and she, of course, was like, girl, how crazy are you? You stupid. Like, how'd you fall for that? Don't ever do no dumb shit like that again. And she was absolutely right. When I got home, I received a phone call from grandma of baby number 5, and she was asking me when I was going back. I told her I was not. I expressed to her my concerns, and she said that she was supposed to be going for Father's Day. I said, I would tell you not to go. And she's like, oh, well, I think it'll be okay. Well, grandma takes baby number 5 to Georgia for Father's Day. She is later kicked out of the house with guard dogs on the floor. And she did not see her grandchild for months. That is how he took custody of baby number 5 from his grandmother, who helped raise him when his father hadn't been in his life pretty much ever. I later learned that the plan was for me to stay in Georgia for an extended period of time so he could claim residency over our son and later kick me out of the house. He had asked me what my bills were, and he was talking about ending child support, and whatever my bills were, he was going to subtract that from what he gave me. I almost fell for it. I didn't, but somebody else did. What happened next is not my story to tell, but it turned my world upside down. I struggled for 2.5 years with suicidal thoughts and a lot of self-blame. I'd also shut down my dance company and stated it was because I didn't enjoy teaching anymore, when in fact it was because I knew I needed to get my shit together. I then landed a job at an HBCU. I was proud of myself. It was a job that I enjoyed and that I really put my heart and soul into. I fought for that team every single day, and it kept my mind off of other things. In 2023, I attended the NAACP Awards. As I looked around, I saw all of these people that I looked up to and wanted so much to be like. I was amongst greatness. I realized at that moment that it was time to take my power back. I did the Heat Inc. reunion. I made amends with Tracy. We had a splash bash. We released lanterns for remembrance as well as emotional purges. I was doing well. In July, an accusation comes out about my child's father. In September, I do an interview with Carlos King. I then do another interview with Vlad TV. Followed by that was then an admission of what the accusation was. And like May said, I agree with him when he said it's never consensual when it's a surprise. Well, 2024, I posted a reel and recounting 2023 and how excited I was. And I'm still not getting any child support, but I'm trying to make do. I'm using my savings because this can't continue to go on forever. My savings is now being drained, and I'm offered a Basketball Wives contract. After talking it over with my attorney, they think that it's a good idea for me to take it. Yes, the person who said I would never go back to that show, I was going to go back. So Superman number 1 was correct when he said somebody needs money. Well, yeah, because your predecessor ain't shit. Hey y'all, it's Royce, and I'm here to tell you a story about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2000. Hey y'all, this is Royce. I'm here to tell you a story about how my life changed beginning July 31st, 2004 until even now, all because I had a baby by Superman. Part 9, the final chapter. As I stated before, I agreed to take the 113K because I figured I would be able to flip the money that I was receiving from the Basketball Wives contract. I had also received a contract for an artist development company in New York, and I just felt like I was good. I also still had my job at the HBCU. Well, shortly after, I am headed to the airport. I get there, I check in, I go through TSA. I have my cat with me. When I get to the gate, I go to the gate and I just want to make sure that everything is okay with me and my pet. He says, I just sold your ticket. I asked him why, and he said someone refunded it. I get on the phone, and that is how I found out that they had canceled my Basketball Wives contract. I'm not saying he had anything to do with it, but that's what happened. Later on in 2024, I was fired from my HBCU job. I was actually fired during the same week that my father had a heart attack. I was then blasted on the internet, called names, and harassed by some of my former athletes, and I remained quiet. I watched them belittle and degrade me and realized that no matter how much I fought for those athletes and what I brought to that program, the culture of this generation has changed. Over the past couple of months, Superman has been harassing our son. He's also been harassing the school. He's been calling our son names and dehumanizing me. I told our son to go to California and support him on a TV show, despite the fact that he did not want to go. I said, make it more about the opportunity than the visit. Enjoy your siblings. He still had no desire to go, and even after speaking to both sets of his grandparents, Superman again and Mama number 2, he said no. I still talked him into going. Over the past couple days, Superman has decided to harass our son again. I am listening to my child laughing and joking while playing PlayStation, only to then it turn into yelling and, yes, cursing. I walk into the room and I realize that he is talking to Superman. Superman is dehumanizing me. Superman is calling me broke. Superman is basically expressing to my child that I am a deadbeat mother. He says, your mom needs to get a job. Well, just so you know, I did restart my company. I also sub at schools. I also teach gymnastics after school. And I do teach private lessons. I'm pretty much like a Jamaican. I have plenty jobs. Because one thing you won't do is break me. So as you sit here and you decide that you want to rewrite history, I think it's one thing that is important to know. I am the one with the paperwork. I am the one with all the phones. I have told you to leave me the fuck alone. As we go into 2025, my prayer for you is not blessings, it's hell. Happy New Year. Oh, and Tiffany's story coming soon, 2025. That's Mama number 2. Bye. Hey y'all, this is Royce, and I'm here to tell you.
Well, you guys, there you have it. I am going to be posting.
Packing and they laughing. You can't happy that you great and they late. You happy and they crappy. That ain't got nothing to do with you.
Where is this? Why can't we hear it?
Look, you can't have.
Oh, it's in her Instagram. Let's go there real quick. Sorry. I do. Let's see. So we're looking for Royce Reed. Royce Reed. There she goes. There she blows. Let's see if she still has it over here. Oh, here we are. See if we can hear this.
Hey y'all. Now you know I'm out here trying to mind my business and have a great first. I mean, I've been having an amazing first. I've been very positive. I've had a lot of relief, and I was sent a video of the guru, Mr. Kevin Wesley, and him trying to justify that night in question, which was the drug-filled party night. He's trying to say that I was on mushrooms that day, and that was the day that I said I tried them. No. What I've always said, and what I did not even really address in this story, was I was offered mushrooms within like the first couple of days that I was there for quarantine. It might have even been the first night, but it was within the first few days. And they all took them. I did not. And I have said that to everybody that was at the house because I didn't know y'all like that. I don't trust y'all. Y'all really think I'm going to do something I've never done with you? No. So that was the first day that I was offered mushrooms. I was never offered mushrooms again because one, I was like, nah. And two, that's what y'all were on that day. What you're failing to realize and understand is as you're doing these 6-7 hour lives trying to recount a story, your story, sir, has changed. And trying to replay Callie's videos or the audio from his lives, why not play the whole thing? You sitting here trying to play this man talking about when he asking who walked him to the bathroom that previous night, and him saying that it was someone with a hat and a beard. You knew damn well what he was talking about. It was a transgender that was trying to mess with him. Do not sit here and say, oh no, he's talking about somebody with no arms and no legs. He still knew that somebody walked his ass to the bathroom and was trying to fuck him. Like, Kevin. I was trying to spare you, sir. But let's get our stories together, okay? Let's speak truth, or at least get together your lies so it makes people have to think about it. You even bringing people on your live on YouTube, trying to sit here and justify your actions, trying to justify Callie now trying to speak his piece again. Let's put all our videos together by timeline and see what the people think. Y'all tried that man and he was cussing your ass out on the stairs and laughing because he was trying not to fuck you up. Y'all know how people get when they get angry. I know how I get. When I get to the point where I'm just probably about to lose it and y'all need to remove me from the situation, I start laughing. I said before, I don't know why I laugh when I'm telling traumatic situations. Coping, I guess. That's how I cope with it. But y'all know damn well when people start that they about to fuck you up. That's how he was laughing. I was walking my dog that day. So you want to sit here and talk about what was going on down the stairs and how he was laughing, and then he's sitting here threatening you and you walking him to the gate? You're really putting a timeline together. Thank you. Please keep that video up, and I want y'all to go over to Kevin Wesley's YouTube, and he's done a live, and it's like 7 hours long, a part 2, And he trying to sit here and ask questions. He also asked why I didn't take my child home after that inappropriate conversation. It's quarantine. It's quarantine. We can't just leave like that. Y'all know this. We cannot just get up and leave. And when I say leave, let me not say leave as in like I couldn't leave the house. Yes, I could leave the house, obviously. But to drive across state lines and be out past curfew and all that stuff, no, we could not just leave. And please remember why I was there. That is a conversation that was had that I said was inappropriate. And yes, I went off. Should I have taken my child back home then? Yeah. Did I? No. Kevin? It's the first. It's the first. Don't be the part of this WTF starting a year and you the W, Mr. Wesley. Like, please don't do it. I'm not the one. I'm trying to spare you, and you know what the fuck I'm talking about. So just shut the fuck up and enjoy the rest of your new year. Happy New Year, everybody. Bye.
You guys, this looks like it could go on and on. Uh-oh, where is it? Is it on this page? Here's what Kevin Wesley had to say.
These are very important words I think y'all should listen to.
Copyright
the fact
disclaimer.
that this man will tell you, I can go lie on you. I can go lie on you. All right? I can go lie on you. And I'm not going to tell anybody they fucking lies either. So they'll just have to figure it out. You can find this part right here and clip it and say, here's the part where he said he was going to lie. Okay, that's fine. That's cool. You better hope people see your video because more people will see mine. I just want to stop there for a second. I'm going to let the video go. It's not that long. I wanted y'all to listen to what he said. I can go lie on you. I can go say, Callie, I can go lie on you. You ain't got no voice. I can go lie on you. Why do you have to go make lies up on me, brother? Because you're a loser. That's what losers do. Why do you have to go make up a lie on me? Why don't you just go out and tell the truth? Just go tell the truth, right? Go tell the truth. You won't have to make up lies on me. This is not a good look, brother, for you to get on the World Wide Web. This is why I tell you, this guy's so smart till he dumb. This is not a good look, brother, for you to get on this World Wide Web and tell the people, I can go lie on you. And I'm not going to tell people if I'm lying or not. And you can clip this. He gave me permission to clip this and say, here's the part where he said he's going to lie. And then he goes on to say, you better hope people see your video because more people are going to see mine. I keep telling you, brother, the universe is bigger than you. The universe is bigger than your little peanut gallery chat. I keep telling you, you don't control how the universes, sir. What does he mean by I can go lie on you? And I'm not going to tell anybody that they're lies. What does he mean by that? And then what does he mean when he says, you a little guy? You ain't on the internet like that. I can go lie on you. Nobody's going to, and I ain't got to tell nobody, what does he mean by this? The same way I'm asking y'all, what does he mean when he says, I don't think Callie's gay because he did turn down the fruit. You see, what does this stuff mean that he be saying? What does it mean when he says these things? What does that mean? I can go lie on you and I'm not going to tell anybody that they're lies. You better hope somebody hears your video because they're definitely going to hear mine. It's at that point where you have to let the universe just universe. And right now, the universe is universing. Let's show you who this guy really is. Let's show you who this guy really is. His name is Kevin Wesley, a.k.a. K. Diddy Kitty, Tutti Frutti Booty. I can go lie on you. And I'm not going to tell anybody they fucking lies either. So they'll just have to figure it out. You can find this part right here and clip it and say, here's the part where he said he was going to lie. Okay, that's fine. That's cool. You better hope people see your video because more people will see mine. Hey, yo, what up, tribe? What up? What's happening? Check this out, man. So recently, Royce Reed has come forth to tell her story about Superman, her baby daddy Superman, right? I'm gonna tell y'all what's going on right now. You know, I'm Callie. I'm the one that she spoke on the Glad TV interview. I've been out here. I went to one of those mushroom ceremonies one night for a spiritual experience. At least I thought it was supposed to be, which I came to later realize, you know, it was on their side of things. Superman and one of my supposed to have been friends back then, by the name of Kevin Wesley. Kevin Wesley was the mutual friend between Superman and myself. But Kevin Wesley pretty much sold his soul to become the so-called assistant to Superman. Anyway, Royce has come forth. For years, they have tried to make me look crazy. They have tried to silence me. They have tried to make me look crazy. Now, I was never violated in that house. I just blew the spot up because I felt like they were trying to violate me. They were trying to get me high, like on some Diddy shit, right? So I blew the spot up. This story has been out here over almost 6 years now, or whenever quarantine started, because that's when I met Royce that night, that specific night. Now, I had been to Superman's house multiple times, so I've been to his house multiple times. I never met Royce or anything, but I would go out there and check out my boy Kevin Wesley at the time. You know what I'm saying? Never was nothing. Then they invite me to this mushroom ceremony. That's what Royce is talking about. She's telling the story. So with that being said, they're going to try to silence her. They're going to try to make her look like she's lying. I heard there's another baby mama coming out. There is another baby mama that reached out to me, Superman's baby mama. She reached out to me. She told me a lot of shit. But I think they got to her. And don't be surprised if that baby mama that I'm talking about comes out to try to discredit Royce too. And the other, I heard it's 2 baby mamas. The one that talked to me is real quiet right now. The messages that we had between a friend got all deleted. I got a feeling they got to her. I think she's paid off, you know. But she's the one that Royce says in her live, I wish she would come out and speak.
I wish that Christine would come out and tell her story, but I don't know if she ever will.
Royce, I wish Christine would come out too. Because Christine spoke to me, not Melissa Rios. I made an error when I mentioned Melissa Rios. I made an error. It was Christine that spoke to me. I wish she would come out and speak. I wish she would come out and speak too, because she's going to confirm. If she comes out and speak on Royce's behalf, she's going to confirm a lot of things I said about Kevin Wesley, the little girl. She's going to confirm a lot of things that I said. Him selling his soul, what she felt about him, why she wanted him out that house. She's going to come out and confirm everything. You just hearing it from me is hearsay, right? I get it. That's why Royce wants her to come out and speak. But hey, can't nobody make her come out and speak, you know. But I just did a live yesterday on YouTube. My channel is Truth Speaks with Chief Cali. Truth Speaks with Chief Cali. I have a whole playlist on there called Surviving Kevin Wesley. Now, mind y'all, I don't know much about Superman. Kevin Wesley was my friend. He was the mutual friend to both of us. But if you listen to my stories, it can connect the dots to a lot of what Royce is talking about. You just have to listen and connect the dots. Listen to my stories, listen to her stories. Kevin Wesley, Royce knew Kevin Wesley. I knew Kevin Wesley, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all until somebody shows me different. I believe Kitty is Kevin Wesley. I don't believe that picture that they're showing out here of the little guy with the little short bob, whatever, in the little skirt. I don't believe that's Kitty. I think Kevin Wesley is Kitty. The description fits him perfect. He calls Superman his best friend. He was in that house for 5 years as his so-called assistant. Yet somebody had to pay his family's rent because they were getting ready to get evicted. Kevin Wesley also claims to be the life coach to Dwight Howard. Hell of a life coach. Your client is getting sexual assault cases. Hell of a life coach. You should give that up. These are very important words I think y'all should listen to. The fact that this man will tell you, I can go lie on you. I can go lie on you. All right? I can go lie on you. And I'm not going to tell anybody they fucking lies either. So they'll just have to figure it out. You can find this part right here and clip it and say, here's the part where he said he was going to lie. Okay, that's fine. That's cool. You better hope people see your video because more people will see mine. I just want to stop there for a second. I'm going to let the video go. It's not that long. I wanted y'all to listen to what he said. I can go lie on you. I can go say, Cali, I can go lie on you. You ain't got no voice. I can go lie on you. Why do you have to go make lies up on me, brother? Because you're a loser. That's what losers do. Why do you have to go make up a lie on me? Why don't you go out and tell the truth? Just go tell the truth, right? Go tell the truth. You won't have to make up lies on me. This is not a good look, brother, for you to get on the World Wide Web. This is why I tell you, this guy's so smart till he dumb. This is not a good look, brother, for you to get on this World Wide Web and tell the people, I can go lie on you. And I'm not going to tell people if I'm lying or not. And you can clip this. He gave me permission to clip this and say, here's the part where he said he's going to lie. And then he...
Okay, it feels like he's repeating himself at this point, but it looks like there are a lot of people trying to help Royce Reed get her story out. Can you guys hear me? Uh-oh, what happened? Uh-oh, I feel frozen. Did Elsa come through? Did Elsa come through and freeze me? Okay, it looks like I'm back. Did this get small for you guys? Lots of applications open. Just a second, you guys. We're going to finish up with this last video. I just want to show how that video of the man talking had something to do with Royce, because she was talking about there was a guru, his assistant, this other guy, and Callie. She named Callie. She named Kevin Wesley. And so now they're saying their piece. And so far, Chief Callie's piece and Royce Reed's piece fits perfectly. So let's check this out. Is that a little kitty cat? Can you guys see this okay? Let's see. Let's. Oh, I can't have any music. You gonna turn that off, Royce? Are you gonna dance for us with no music? I can't fast forward. She has great natural hair. I love it. I love that she embraces her natural tresses. And she obviously cares for them because her hair looks super healthy on top of it.
From the 305 and wind up.
Yeah, so we're gonna let her do her lip sync battle. Thanks again for coming through to LRGA Curves today. Make sure you smash that like button, smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks again for coming. Ring the bell so you can get notified. Are you finished dancing and tossing your hair, darling? I love it. That bounces everything.
Cali in a bit. Bitch on Trozac. I'm waiting.
Yeah, I don't want to get copyrighted. It doesn't seem, the 10-second rule doesn't seem to be applying right now. They be having me trim the heck of my stuff. And I'm like, that's literally a 10-second span, sir. Literally.
It's the first.
It's the first. You know what's interesting is yesterday we did a live with Selena Johnson from she's the newest Belle on Belle Collective, and she was also like on Bring It, the show, and that was about dancing. And she decided that she needed to get her truth out after a long tumultuous relationship with this guy JJ, who's a new husband to Gucci on new as in after Selena. Anyway, so she was telling her story yesterday, and it was a lot of abuse and stuff too. And what these two ladies seem to have in common is they went back multiple times, and they sound a little brainwashed, like they would fob for it, and because they were tired of fighting so much. So that's very interesting. So in our what we're getting from this today, hopefully, is leverage for our own lives to be able to recognize if we see somebody acting like some part of this story or something like that. If it gets that far, then you'll be like, oh yeah, shit, that happened to Royce. Let me not go down this path. Or ooh, this fool sounds like Superman. This fool sounds like he could be a Superman. Right? It looks like she's still lip syncing.
It all started because of your ego and disrespect.
Oh.
I ain't watching shit.
Sounds like the song is over.
All right, we in here. Y'all know I really did try to go into this new year, this 2025, with a new chapter, right? Y'all know I really did try and do that. I promise you I did. Well, we had people wake up this morning deciding to be on some bullshit. Now, even before I address that, what I do want to address, because it is way more important, I am going to send my prayers to all the victims of the New Orleans attack today. I mean, I had no idea that happened when I was speaking earlier, and I found out while I was speaking, and I touched on it, but prayers. So today, I woke up and I saw that Mr. Kevin Wesley was doing lives, and I mean that's nothing new. But damn, a 7-hour live, that's a damn lot. Because you're really trying to remember everything. Well, when he gets to that particular quarantine trip, there's a few lies that he tried to spread, a few lies regarding Callie, who's going to join us live in a little. And Callie is a guy. I think many of you thought Callie was a female because of, why wouldn't that person be? And they're getting tried and followed to bathrooms with men. No, Callie is a whole entire heterosexual man. And if you go back on my story, you'll see where I put a link to his live. It's still up if you want to see it. But yeah, Mr. Wesley decided that he was going to get on a live and try and recount and rewrite history. And unfortunately for him, he fucked up. So Callie was offered, let me say, fruit. And yes, this is real fruit. However, the place in which the fruit is placed is supposed to be your invitation. Callie didn't fall for that invitation. But that is something that he is going to recount later on in this live of what happened with him. And it'll fill in the holes for me when I say I went and I took a nap. I did not take mushrooms that day. I didn't take mushrooms ever with them because I don't know y'all. Did I pretend to that first couple of days when they offered it that one time? I did pretend, and I stayed in that room and I watched them act like some shit was happening. And there was moaning, but it was also two females in the room, and they were starting to touch themselves, and not all of them, just Mr. Wesley and Superman. There were other people there as well, but I digress and keep pushing. I'm looking around like, what the fuck did I come into? But hey, again, to each his own. This is just not my thing. I know other people who have done mushrooms, and they say that they act a certain way or start feeling a certain way. So I just felt like, oh, this is their vice. Cool. Not my business. Again, everyone was by themselves. I did not take it. I'm just observing. So this particular night, I went and took a nap because I had a headache, a migraine. And anybody who gets migraines know, like, if you don't take your medication or you just get, like, you just let it keep festering, it pretty much knocks you out. Like, you can barely see light. You just need to sit down and take a nap. So I didn't really have to go into too much depth about how bad my migraine was, but I fucking took a nap. It don't really matter why the fuck I took a nap. I took a damn nap, okay? But anyway, we wake up, or I wake up a few hours later, and then that is what happens. Let me see where Callie is. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Hey, Callie. He's coming. Perfect timing. What up, Callie?
What up, sis? What's happening with you?
I'm good.
Yeah, man. So here we are, right?
Yeah. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. And let me just say this to you. While I'm here, man, I appreciate you actually coming out to actually co-sign what I've been saying for years. I've been telling this story for over years, man.
I know. I remember when you first told it.
Oh, yeah, well.
Yeah, they banned you.
Yeah. They, I mean, they've been trying to make me look crazy. They done lied on my family. I done got attacked. I done got all kind of lies told on me. You got, they say Kevin Wesley's in your chat right now. This guy's a good liar. Mm-hmm. So y'all can definitely get a good look at who this guy is, man. This guy is a complete liar. He's a complete liar, and he's a snake in the grass friend.
Yep.
He's a snake. And this is this is the guy who claimed to be the assistant.
Yep.
He said he was the assistant to Superman. This was, in my opinion, I believe this guy is kidding. But I can't prove that. But in my opinion, he's kidding.
But I heard the real kitty was actually in jail, and that's why the real kitty did not actually ever come out and say anything, because they were sued or something for exploiting him. But I don't know how true that is, but apparently the real kitty is in jail, but nobody can find that person. So you might be right. I'm just telling you what that new narrative is.
I got you. Yeah, man. I mean, it is what it is, man. Like, we gotta, we've been telling our story forever. I see them trying to discredit you. They trying to discredit me.
Oh, he said I wanted him.
He says everybody wants him. He said my girl wanted him. He told me, and this is what I mean about a snake friend, right? This is exactly what I'm talking about, a snake friend. I remember the time he called me. He called me and said you came on to him. He called my phone and was like, yeah, man, Royce just came on to me, man. I don't know what I should do. I said, what do you mean you don't know what you should do?
Tell your friend.
Like, what are you talking about? So his baby mama came on to you and you ain't gonna tell your homeboy? I said, so he said, yeah, I just don't know. I don't know if I tell D, I don't know if he's gonna get mad at me. Why would he get mad at you? But his baby mama coming on to you. But then, that let me know, like, bro, you moving foul, bro. Like, that didn't make sense to me. But then when me and him got into it also, right? I'm just showing you the character of this dude right here. He also said my woman tried to hit on him. Why you ain't tell me? We were friends.
Yes, because Mr. Filters, oh man, you are just so
Royce.
temptation.
This dude wears filters. He puts filters on his photoshops his pictures. This guy changes his eye color. I mean, he does a lot. He does a lot, right? But here's the thing, bro. My woman is from Cleveland, Ohio, bro. You're not her type. You wouldn't be her type. You're not man enough. You're not strong enough. You wouldn't be her type. And I know this for a fact. You're too weak. But it just amazes me. Everybody always seems to want this guy.
Yeah.
He thinks he's God's gift to the world. And I saw somebody in the comments a minute ago. Said that was a zesty party you was at, right? Yeah, well, it seems like that's what it was trying to turn out to be.
Yep.
That was the plan. That's what it was turning out to try to be. Yeah, right plan, wrong man.
Yeah. And I remember, and I didn't come out until it was, that's something else he tried to do with me. When he was talking about, when I came out and I was talking about the fireflies and the color of the sky, he was like, she was on mushrooms too. No, sir, I had just woken up from a nap. I wasn't on mushrooms at all. Maybe you can account for that because you ain't even see me.
Yeah, I had been telling people I never saw you take anything. Mm-hmm. You were there. I have been acknowledged that you were there.
Yeah.
I never said I saw you take anything at all.
Nope.
Ever.
I did not.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't see you. Okay, so I didn't see you until late.
Not even that day. I don't even think you saw me the day when I saw y'all.
But no, I saw you.
Oh, when
I got there. And it was supposed to be 11 or midnight, somewhere around. Okay. Right? I remember you coming out in the walkway. And I guess K Diddy Kitty had got the text that, okay, now y'all can come over. Over. Okay, so that's when we came over. I saw you at that point. We were all out on the balcony. We were all out on that balcony thing. And I don't know.
So then you saw me after I had already gotten my son. You saw me probably when I was going back and I was cussing out everybody.
Yeah.
Because they were talking about somebody was missing and I didn't even talk about this part in my story. I didn't say that I came back out and was like, well, kind of I did. I think in one of my lives I did. How I was saying I was going off on everybody, and then they were talking about somebody was missing.
Because that was me going off in that house.
Yeah.
Because
oh my God,
that
really?
That was me going off because my friend was missing
That's
for a long period of time. So in my head, I'm saying, yo, we're all in here geeked, right? We're all geeked. And what I was told was there was going to be a medical team there in case anything happened to anybody. I was told that there was going to be, I don't know, what do you call the people who sit and watch you to help you through your trip? Like, this is what I was told.
I didn't know none of this shit was going to go on.
All right, so I was told there was going to be somebody there to watch over everybody in case something goes wrong, that, or in case you're having a bad trip. There's supposed to be someone there to help you walk through your bad trip, to help you through it, right? Well, the reason I believed that was because I watched a documentary or something where I watched people take mushrooms, but they were all in the same room and they were laying in beds, like a room full of beds, right? And they were all laying in like rows of beds, but they had like whatever you call the people that sit there and they watch you, you know what I'm saying, to make sure you're okay as you go on your trip. So that's why I believed him when he said that. So I said, okay, that's cool. Because one thing I was afraid of, right? They say when you take the mushrooms, it makes you face your biggest fears. This is what I was told. You kind of face some of your biggest fears, which I kind of did that night. Because I have a big fear of big bodies of water. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm a Pisces, and I can't swim. And I always have a fear of big bodies of water. Now, I had a conversation with that young lady at the table, and I felt like at that moment, what we were talking about at that table, it dealt with water, it dealt with life, it dealt with me being a Pisces, it dealt with, she was just telling me, you can swim. You are, you're swimming through these trials of life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Basically, it was like a metaphor that she was giving me about bodies of water. And she was telling me how water can be violent or water can be peaceful. And I'm a water sign. I'm a Pisces, and she was, just for me to come to later feel like that lady was slick, a part of the setup.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like, looking back, I felt like that lady was a part of the setup. That was the lady I was talking about that had the phone. She had her phone. And I told her, I said, hey, I tapped her like, yo, we're not supposed to have our phones, right? And she's like, oh, we're not? That made me, like, thinking back, that made me feel like her and K. Diddy Kitty were texting each other. They were like, she was keeping an eye on me. It even got to a point where she just kept, now mind you, my girl isn't there.
Yeah.
Okay? My girl isn't there. So remember, she couldn't stay there because she wasn't going to participate, right?
Yeah.
All right. Because why? Why don't they want her to stay there if she's not participating? Because they don't want you to see anybody in an altered state of mind, right? Isn't that how this goes? I don't want to. Those are the rules,
right?
That's why
I said I felt like I was in a twilight zone because everybody was going fucking crazy but me.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, for that man to videotape me, you're a snake. Because I just watched you in the interview, Kevin Wesley, tell 2K that you didn't want to be embarrassed. So you went in the bathroom. You didn't want nobody to see you like that. Yet you filmed me though, bro. You filmed your friend in an altered state of mind. For what reason? For what reason? That's snake. You're a snake. You're a snake.
Had you
because you were going to use that.
Had you done that ayahuasca thing with them?
Who?
So
Done with who?
Like Superman and Kevin and all of them.
Other than that night?
No, this was a different night. Y'all did it that night too?
What? I was only there one night.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all did ayahuasca that night too? Oh, shit. I missed all. Okay, so we did that ayahuasca one night, And I actually did participate in that one because just like you, I trusted. It was this man that like looked like he was just, I mean, straight out of Africa. I mean, he had on the garb. They bought like the freaking, like the little things that you bang and it makes boom. Like they had all these things, all these different types of blankets that were supposed to have been hand sewn. Like, and they were talking us through like everything that this ceremony is supposed to be. And they give you this drink that is so disgusting, and then they blow this stuff up your nose.
Nah, I wasn't there for this.
Yeah, we were stuck out that bitch for like a couple hours, and I never felt anything. I didn't feel anything, and neither did this familiar face. And we ended up like watching people. Take that back. I started throwing up a lot. I did throw up like, I mean, I was throwing up like terribly. But that's all that happened to me. I didn't like feel anything. I was just throwing up.
So, you moaning?
No, I was not moaning. Shut up. But they were like running around like the house, like, and you know, talking about them seeing things and stuff. And I went in the house eventually because they said, all right, by now, you know, you might start feeling as if. And I was like, I'm cold. So I ended up going in the house. This familiar face ended up going in the house. And so did baby mama number 4. We all went in the house and we were talking about how we didn't really feel anything, like what was going on with them, that you would call them boners. They were acting as if they were in an altered state of mind. But to each his own. After that, we even had like a therapy.
I wasn't there for none of this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This was a different day. I actually didn't even bring up this day because I kind of forgot about it. It didn't really hold a lot of relevance because nothing really crazy happened that I saw. But yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's so. Somebody came in my chat on YouTube the other day, and she said she was at one of those parties too. This is what I'm telling people. These guys been having these little parties. Like they've been having these little parties. Like so with the whole mushroom thing, let me explain this to you, right?
Yeah.
My reasoning for wanting to try the mushroom, right, was because I was watching a documentary where they were talking about doctors taking these mushrooms, people talking about they go to different like spiritual realms and stuff like. And I saw where they were saying people use these mushrooms to help anxieties, ADHD, things like that. So in my head, I was saying, well, they're taking mushrooms? You mean doctors? Why are doctors taking mushrooms, right? Why are they using this? Why are they using this to help people with their mentality, right? So I looked at my son, right? Not even just my son, but my son. He does music and he creates. He's a producer, right? But I watch him when he smokes weed. When he smokes weed, he goes to a next level of like genius with that music, right? And I thought about some of my friends who get very, like, some of my friends that smoke weed, like, when they smoke, they get, like, this next level of intelligence about themselves or something, right? So I thought about this.
I said, that's why you decided to take it that night. You trusted this man.
I wanted to see what this was about because the time before I was over at the house, we had a conversation about it. We had a conversation of me, Superman, Kevin Wesley, and he had a little group of friends out there. We had a conversation about it, and they were telling me about it. And they were basically saying it takes you to a next realm. They was talking about how the trees come alive and the water, the grass, all of that, right?
Oh, you thinking the man that's like hugging the tree?
Hugging the tree, all of that, right? Yeah. So what I was saying was, I was like, yo, if this takes you to a next level in your mind on these mushrooms, I already go inside of my mind sober.
Yeah.
I already do this sober. Like, so I was wondering if these doctors and stuff are taking this stuff, why are they hiding it from us? What is it about us? Why can't we take it? Like, why is it illegal? But then as I started to do more research, they started to make it legal in certain places. I think Oakland was the first place, then Denver became the next place. And I was like, yo, like, why are people like, why are they trying to hide you from taking these mushrooms? But now I know why. Now I know why this is not an addictive drug, because it can scare you straight. It can take you somewhere. It can take you somewhere, but you have to be really ready for it. You have to be really ready for it in here. You know what I'm saying? And it will reveal things to you. Like, things will be revealed to you. And there's multiple people. You can listen to Wiz Khalifa talk about his experience, how it revealed people around him. The rapper Chaotic, it revealed people around him. The rapper, what's his name? Talib Kweli.
I have never said anything bad about mushrooms. I've just talked about what was going on that night. So I am not judging anybody that has ever taken mushrooms. I'm not even saying that it's not something that I would never do. I just would not do it with them. I just didn't trust them. So I don't think anybody is judging the fact that they were taking mushrooms. It's not that. Just like, I mean, I had my medical card, and even if I didn't, like, I started, smoking weed when I was 35, and I was like, wow, if I knew about this, I might have had more friends, because it's calmed down my anxiety. Like, I get that. There's no judgment there. My issue is when it is used as a crutch or an excuse to try somebody and to rewrite history. So that's why when I talk about that night and I talk about what I saw, you were filling in your holes because you were talking about what was happening when I was not there. And even when I started running around the house when you did see me, I did not even remember seeing you. But so you remember.
Yeah.
Because I was that's some people.
Now I saw you like twice. But I was the one that was going off about him being missing.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And I was asking, like, yo, what y'all mean y'all don't know where he at? You feel what I'm saying? What y'all mean y'all don't know where my dude at? Like, he told me it was gonna be somebody here watching everybody. And it was like at that moment right there that it pissed me off. It made me mad. Yeah. Because now I realize ain't nobody here watching us. Ain't no medical team around here. I started to piece this stuff together like, yo.
But you had taken them already.
Huh?
You had taken them already?
Yeah. I was about, at this time, I'm about an hour into this. I'm about an hour in now.
Yeah.
Because what happened was when it started kicking in, I went through stages. I went through stages of it, right? But at this point, it started kicking in, man, and I was like, yo, my dude missing. And I was laying on the couch, not in the snake room, right? In the next room, right? So I was laying on that couch, but the voice in my head was saying, where's your homeboy at? Where is he at? And like the voice was talking to me very disrespectful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at you laying here on this couch. You laid up, you high, and your friend is missing. Like, this is what I'm hearing in my head. And that's what made me fight through that high and say, where my friend is?
Yeah.
Where's my friend at? And people was telling me they didn't know. So if I'm high, there's other people walking around here high. This is a huge mansion. A huge mansion with that big lake out there in the back, and y'all telling me y'all don't know where he at? That's why I was flipping out.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where my friend at, and he could be hurt somewhere, and ain't nobody watching us all. Y'all lied. So that's what made me mad. Like, you know, with that situation, you know. Yeah, man, there was a lot that went on that night, man. And at the end of the day, yeah, I felt like they tried me. They tried me. They tried to mini diddy me. I don't care what nobody say. It's just what I felt. Because I wasn't there for your entertainment. I was there because you hear how you explain the other party where you say they had the drums and all of this and they was, you know, they was doing all the little. So I'm thinking it's gonna be something like that. I'm thinking it's gonna be like what I see on my on the documentary where everybody's in the same room. That's what I pictured in my head it was going to be. I got there. It was people everywhere, man. There was people everywhere.
When did you realize that, like, things were just not what you signed up for?
Man, when he went missing, after I flipped out because he was missing, and nobody knew where he was at, and then he came back around the corner looking like a zombie. He was gone for a minute. Like, he was gone for a minute. And I, you know, right when I was telling them, if y'all don't find out, I don't even know who I was talking to with it. But I said, right when I said, if y'all don't find out where my dude at, man, where my boy at, it's going to get ugly up in here, right? As soon as I said that, this nigga he come walking by me. He came walking right by me. Like, I mean, it was like he walked, he didn't say nothing. He was like soulless looking. He walked right by me. And I stopped talking and I'm looking at this dude walk over there. He goes to sit in the chair. So you'll hear him tell the story where I was over him like, where was you at? Where was you at, dude? Like, you know, I was going off on him. He's like, Charlie, what are you talking about, man? Like, yeah, I went off on him because I'm like, yo, you told me it was going to be people here watching us. How they didn't know where you was at, dude? That let me know right there. So that started to irritate me because now I'm looking around now and I'm saying, yo, ain't nobody watching us. Ain't nobody.
It's not funny, but the way you tell stories is very animated, and it's just like we can laugh at it. Well, I can laugh at it now because I survived it,
right?
And I see obviously you can too, but
yeah, I went through a lot, man. Man, they told me I was jealous of the guy. They told me I was, man, everything. What y'all gotta understand is what we're dealing with here, right? No, I was not violated in that house. Nobody ever touched me. Nobody ever violated me physically, right? But what we are dealing with is a snake. Like we're dealing with a snake friend who calls himself a leader in our community. He paints himself. He wears these funny hats and costumes as if he's some leader in our community helping our people. This is the same guy who stole donations from the hungry people. He got on his platform week after week after week after week, taking donations from the community, from people in the community, saying he wants to feed the homeless, he wants to stop war hunger. You can't find a video of Kevin Wesley feeding nobody. Where did them people's money go, brother? Where did them people's money go? So this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a snake. You came out here and told people you had stomach cancer, bro. You know what I'm saying? To go get you a weight loss surgery while you're the assistant to the millionaire basketball player. You feel what I'm saying, bro? You did a lot, bro, to the community, bro. This isn't just personal with me. You did a lot to the community. You took money from people. You told them in the name of this, I want to help our community. Where's them people money? You took their money and you did a rap video riding by the homeless people. That's what you did. You made a rap video. Then you came out and said, I couldn't find no homeless people. You took week after week, you asked for donations in the name of this, helping the people. This is what made me mess with you. Because when I met you, I thought you was a righteous dude. Just to find out you're a whole snake. You're the lowest of the snakes.
What?
I'm talking about you're a dirty. You have done a lot of people dirty. You have people on this internet, this Kevin Wesley guy, Superman's
Oh yeah, because we gotta talk about the conversation that I overheard when I was walking my dog. Because people are asking about that, and I'm like, there was a lot of stuff that I heard, but I felt like when I listened to your live, like you made more sense of it because I'd rather like you probably tell that part because what I heard was probably, I mean, it was just a smidge, especially when you say like, you know, you weren't actually physically tried. Like what you were saying, and when y'all were arguing, it was that's. But I think the way when you talk about the offering of the fruit,
yeah,
that's what you were responding to, and that's what that means. Yeah. That is what I heard. So even though the stick is dick in your face per se, yeah, that's the invitation when you offer fruit.
Thanks. Now this guy's been around me for years. This guy, Kevin Wesley, had been around me for years, and he knows I don't rock that way. You feel what I'm saying? He knows I don't rock that way. So for you to get me in that house, you know I'm in an altered state of mind. You know I'm in an altered state of mind. Now, I just heard you the other night on your live say, this was supposed to be in my personal bowl of fruit. You thought I was dehydrated, right? You didn't bring me no water. You ain't bring me no bottle of water. Now you brought me a bowl of fruit, right? You bring this fruit to me with the lid already off of it. Now you told me this was my bowl of fruit. This is what you just said on your live the other day. But the lid is off of it. Not to mention, you said you was eating the fruit out of there. Why are you eating my fruit, dude? Like, if it's mine, why are you eating the fruit? And why is the lid off of what you're telling me is supposed to be my own bowl of fruit? You said I went around and I gave everybody their own bowl of fruit. Well, why is my lid off of it? And why is you giving it, right? While he was trying to offer me this fruit, remember we're on mushrooms, so everything is heightened at this time, and I'm analyzing everything. In the next room was Superman and three other guys, and I hear Superman in there moaning, like, and I said, oh, God, oh, man. I hear all this moaning. Out of that room comes Kevin Wesley, comes trotting out of that room with a bowl of fruit. He's right. He did just at first lean down and offer me the fruit, but I screamed on him because, again, I'm on mushrooms and I'm analyzing everything. I hear some fruity stuff going on in one room, and then you come in the room and try to offer me a bowl of fruit. Like, for me, subliminally, I felt like you was trying. I felt, because I'm hearing fruity stuff going on at the time you're trying to offer me a bowl of open fruit. You feel what I'm saying? I wasn't feeling that, so I screamed on him. I moved to the other end of the couch, and that's when he brought the fruit over. He was not in arm's reach of me or anything. Nowhere that I could touch him. But the dude took the bowl of fruit, put it below his waistline, and started winding his hips.
Shut up, Tyler.
Dude started winding his hips, singing my name. Callie, you sure you don't want this fruit, Callie? So I was laying there with a pillow over my face, and when I turned and looked at this nigga standing there with this bowl of fruit, like rocking his, gyrating his hips, like he doing a hula hoop, like, nigga. So I screamed, like, man, I went off. I'm trying to, like, watch my tone of voice because people say because I'm so passionate the way I talk, I guess I be throwing people off, I guess.
So I'm both long-winded, but you're definitely animated. You might have me beat, but go ahead.
But yeah, so that's what made me mad. And that was the first time I screamed on him, right? So what you heard, though, and I heard this from your live, right? I didn't even know you was out there. I didn't know you was out there that morning. when I was trying to get out of there, and I was screaming on him about the same thing.
Yeah.
So he can't even say me and you had talked, because when I said, when you went on Vlad and you said you heard me screaming on him, right?
But I didn't even
I'm
know it
thinking
was like you necessarily. I mean, I put 2 and 2 together, but like at the time, you know, I'm sitting here like, who the fuck is this guy? Because I had never seen you before.
Right.
But obviously, after I saw your videos and stuff, I was like, it was Callie.
Yeah. So I didn't know you saw me in the, like, as I was leaving, and heard me screaming on him about what I was screaming on him about in the living room. I thought when you went on Vlad and said you heard me screaming, so this lets you know me and you have not talked.
Right.
Like, this is our first time actually talking.
Yeah,
okay?
For real, y'all. Like, this is our first time talking. Like,
this is our first time talking. So
hey, somebody's talking about my live is pixelated. Let me. Is that better? Hopefully that's better. Royce, your camera is not focused. Tell me if that's better.
you look a little, you look a little pixelated.
Is it better now?
Yeah, you just look a little. I mean, I can hear you. You just look a little. You know, it like goes in and out. It's like going in and out with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
What somebody said him a few years later. Who are we talking about?
What happened?
Somebody said I text somebody Royce, you sent him a text message years ago.
So I don't know.
What are they talking about?
So they're talking about that one text message. I don't know who that text message was to. I got it from one of our friends.
What text message?
The one where you were saying I was in that house and nobody likes him in this house. He gets everybody fired. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I don't know who you sent that text to. I got it from Vanessa, but I don't know who you sent the text to.
And I said I don't like him. He gets everybody fired. I was talking about Kevin, probably.
You were talking about Kevin.
Oh, okay.
You were saying that he turned Superman against his family again.
Yeah.
And I was telling the people, now I don't know who you sent that text to, but somebody sent it to me.
Oh, okay. Was that supposed to be like a bad thing? That I said that?
Vanessa said you sent it to her and Josh. Vanessa said you sent it to her and Josh.
Oh, is Josh like the big guy?
Yeah.
Because I remember talking to Josh because of, yeah.
Okay, so no, it wasn't, the text wasn't sent to me.
No. Yeah. Oh, I was trying to figure out like what we were talking about, but yeah, I sent it.
Yeah,
to,
so somebody
Josh was like the big guy on Facebook. Yes.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know. Somebody sent me the text.
Okay.
But Vanessa said it was you sent it to her and Josh.
Okay.
So you know who Josh is. Josh is the guy that put the video out about Kevin West scamming the people, the homeless people.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is absolutely who I sent it to.
Okay. So they sent me the text and I read it. I read it online. And you were basically saying Kevin Wesley, nobody likes that man in that house. And what I was trying to tell people is that's a lot of power for this guy to call himself a house assistant, and he's able to turn this man against his family. She said on multiple occasions he's done it again. That's a lot of power for one man to have over a man's family, the mother of his children. And you mean to tell me you're just the assistant? You got a lot of power in that house, dude. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of power over a man's, the mother of a man's children.
Yep.
You know, tell me you were just no assistant, bro. And it's not adding up to me. You claim now, Royce. I don't know. Maybe you know. Was he the life coach to this guy?
Kevin.
The Superman.
Kevin.
Yeah.
He was everything. He followed him everywhere. Like, they were literally, like, day in, day out. They smoked together. They, like, I mean, when I would leave the room, he would still be in there. When I would go in the room later on or earlier in the morning, he was in there. Like, he was always in there. Because remember, I had to admit that it's like, you know, in Reno, he had served me up. Like, we were kind of like fucking around, unfortunately, but that's what we were doing. So,
Who?
me and Superman. Remember, I had fought him for. Yeah. But I'm sorry, it's disgusting to think about now. But yeah, but again, when I would leave, he would go in there, or even if there was nothing happening and we would like be watching a movie or something, when I would leave, he'd still be in there. In the morning, he would be in there. They were always smoking right outside his door all day, every day. Like, he followed him. He even went to his workouts. Like, this is the same person. Now, he used to make me turkey wings. He did used to make me turkey wings. That's how I learned how to make, like, I'm sorry, air fried turkey wings with, like, breadcrumbs. So he did, like, used to make me turkey wings.
So,
I'm just saying, since we're putting it all out there, and he want to do 7-hour lives, and he want to be specific, yes, he used to make me turkey wings. I think that's that.
So, I'm trying to get this assistant. Like, he says he was the assistant, right? Was he getting paid?
I don't know. But finish your story. I'm sorry. I interrupted you. You are now in the front. You're in the front yard or on the stairs. He's offering you fruit while gyrating his way.
Mm-hmm. Had the fruit down there gyrating his field, but I screamed on him then. And I screamed on him again, like, because this went down from the rest of that night. I wasn't comfortable.
Yep.
But remember, I'm on a trip, so I'm up and down, like I'm up and down, right?
Yep.
So
you can't leave.
Once I kind of got it together, really got it together, I told him, open that gate, let me up out of here. Yep. He wanted to play games. I wasn't going to play no games with him, and I told him I'd do everybody up in here, bro. You better get that gate open. I would do everybody up in here. I would like this, but we're all gonna make the news. We all gonna be on the morning news. You don't open that gate. He's trying to talk me down. Man, Kelly, I don't want you to go out there, you know what I'm saying? I don't really want that. Oh, man, open that gate. Open that gate.
That's what I heard. Yep.
Before we got downstairs, though, we started upstairs in his little whatchamacallit, in the guest house. And I was damn near finna go in that kitchen, and he was about to be hoked up.
Yeah.
And his friend in there too. It was about to get ugly because I said open that gate. You want to play games? Oh, no. You man, just calm down. No, ain't no calming down. Open that gate, let me out. So he finally, when he saw I was getting ready to head to that kitchen, I told him we're going to make the news. He then said, all right, come on, man. So we went downstairs, like he was trying to get me to go downstairs first, and I wouldn't go down the steps first. Nah, because I don't know, man. I don't know if it was some little rooms off to the side or something, but I was kicking all the doors open. I'm checking everything on my way down. I told him, no, you go down the stairs first. So I made him go down the stairs first because I wanted this nigga. Ain't nobody jumping out on me and none of that. You feel what I'm saying? So this would be where we ran in, where you heard us at.
Okay.
Around this time. Once we got down the stairs, this is what you heard walking the dog.
Okay.
So you heard me going in all the way up to that gate. You heard me. And plus, I was on the phone with my girl.
Yep. You were on the phone.
Yeah, I was on the phone.
I was
on the phone with my girl, and he was telling my girl, Angie, man, he's scaring me. He's scaring me. Like, yeah, open that gate. So, man, I was about to try to hop that wall, man. Like, I was about to try
so now people know what I mean when I say it's not a place you can just leave.
It's
like, they have to let you out.
they gotta let you out. I was about to try to climb that damn wall.
Yeah.
You know, so I could get out. But my phone had came right back in at that point in time. And that's when I hit 911 to call 911 so I could get out. You know what I'm saying? And that's when it was at that moment when he heard the 911 operator, that's when he opened the gate. He hit the button to open the gate. Yeah, so I was talking shit going out the gate.
So that's why after you left, when I'm like freaking out, I'm seeing police cars.
All right, so let me explain that. Got out the gate, right? I called the police. I called, I'm on 911. Man, I don't have the 911 call, but the 911 call exists. Man, I went off. The operator was telling me to stop cussing at her and everything. I was going off. They asking me for the address. I said, don't you see the address? It's the basketball player.
Oh my God.
It's the basketball player's house. Like, don't you see where I'm at? So I'm going off. But as I was walking up one of them little streets or whatever, right? It wasn't just one police car that passed me.
I know, I said that.
It was a group of them.
Yes.
Went past me. They all rode past me.
Yes.
Nobody stopped. I was on live. Matter of fact, I think I got the video. I was on live when they rode by me. Yo, but I think that was the universe for me, right? Because it kicked in my mind like, yo, what if this guy has these police officers in his pocket? You feel what I'm saying? And what if they come and change this all around on me? And this will be some excuse for some accidental police shooting behind this basketball player dude. You feel what I'm saying? So when they rolled by me, that's why you heard in the call that I made, the operator said they tried to call you back and they couldn't reach back out to you. Yeah, because I put it in my head, what if this guy has these people paid off and they come back and they figure out some crazy reason to shoot an unarmed black man out here in Swanee, Georgia.
Yeah.
You got this dreadhead, tattooed Negro out here in Swanee, Georgia. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I mean, once they rolled by me, I ducked off and I called my girl. Like, yo, because I was on live at that time.
Yeah.
I was on live. I got off the live.
I remember seeing the video because I'm telling them, like, I'm seeing the police cars and then I'm showing them your video. And they're telling me, calm down, it ain't that serious, it ain't that deep. And I'm running around groundskeeper picking up all this paraphernalia. Yeah. And you like walking down the street. Oh my God, this is like filling up so many holes.
Now, just to the point of what we're talking about with that gate, not even the police could get in, right?
Mm-hmm.
The police couldn't even get in. So imagine I couldn't get out.
Yep. Imagine me not being able to get out.
You couldn't get out, right? Somebody had to let you out the gate, right?
Yep.
So wouldn't this be false imprisonment? Like, this is what I'm trying to get people to do, to connect these dots. This dude just had a lawsuit. And one of the charges, the guy, it was false imprisonment, dude. Yep. This is something you niggas is doing around here. Mm-hmm. This is something y'all doing.
But they'll change the narrative.
Yeah, man, I don't care.
Narrative and make it sound like, oh, you're trying to exploit him. But like they said, it's never consensual when it's a surprise.
Right. It's never consensual when it's a surprise. And y'all surprised me. A nigga shaking his hips with some fruit. And my friend, though.
Callie.
My friend is doing this, though. My homeboy, somebody I respected, did this to me. He's shaking your hips, trying to offer me some fruit, dude. Like, but the fact, listen here. This is what I'm talking about. You was out of pocket doing that, first of all. But then for you to secretly record me also. And we're not supposed to have our phones, bro. Like, we're not. You said it yourself on 2K's Live. You said people start doing all kinds of crazy stuff. You said there was people peeing in seats, people throwing up over balconies. You said I was laughing on the stairs. Like, you said you were in the bathroom moaning and groaning and all of this.
Oh my
That's what you said.
God! Wait a minute, Lewis. Oh, we talking now, Lewis. Lewis.
Who is Lewis?
I can add you on this live. We talking now. You just said who you were. Come on.
Who is Lewis?
Lewis was the groundskeeper. Lewis. Louis! Oh my God. Oh man, he said no. Damn.
Well, no. And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine, Royce. Because check this out. Everything happens in time. It might not be his time to speak.
Yeah.
It might not be his time to speak, okay?
Oh, you said I can add him. Hold on. All right.
Kevin Wesley. See?
He done started some shit.
Kevin Wesley, you should shut up.
Yep.
You got too many skeletons to be out here so loud.
I invited him.
I don't even know Lewis, but this might get interesting.
What's up?
Hey,
What up? You crazy.
oh my God.
Lewis has entered the chat.
What's up? I've been listening to y'all. I just been adding facts into the comments. I'm not really going to speak too much. I can't really say too much.
It's all good.
I'm just backing up what y'all saying.
Yeah.
It's all good.
And I'm sorry for calling you the groundskeeper.
It's all good.
Well,
I was doing everything there. I was doing everything on that property. Like I had like 4 or 5 positions. So
No, but Lewis, he said he was.
yeah, I heard from quite a few women that were there that he was saying he was the property manager, but he didn't work there. He didn't do no work. He wasn't getting paid. He was just chilling. Like all he did was chill there, and then nobody want him there. Nobody, except Superman. That's it. We didn't know why he was there, but he was there. And everything you saying is facts. He was a snake. Like he talked about me. He tried to get me fired multiple times. So I'm just here to back up what y'all saying.
Wow.
But one thing that y'all misspoke, that you can get out the gate. You can get out the gate. You can't walk out the gate. It has a sensor on it. So if you have a car, you can drive out the gate. And there was some side gates that you could get out that you could walk out of. But yeah, you right in the sense that you couldn't walk out of that main gate, but it's automatic. It opens by itself. If you
Man, I didn't know that.
You were walking though. You were walking.
Yeah.
And I had to deal with
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. And then I had to deal with the police when you called them. Like they was at the gate. It was and that was early in the morning.
Yep.
I don't remember what time it was. Yeah.
Yes, sir. It was about 6 or 7. It was about almost 7 o'clock.
Right.
They said I called about 6:38. At 6:41, I think they was there. So
that's what I dealt with.
Walking
That's what I dealt with. I dealt with that as soon as I woke up in the morning because I wasn't at y'all's party. I was in my room working on music, doing whatever. Like I was not. And I actually got in trouble for that. I think I got blamed for a lot of what happened because I wasn't there watching y'all, but that wasn't my job. So.
I've never, Lewis, I appreciate you, brother. I've never spoken to Lewis a day in my life. Never. But for him to say that guy was not the assistant to this guy, he was not the assistant. This man is saying he was the one running around. So Kevin, once again, I'm showing y'all Kevin Wesley is a liar. I'm showing y'all. And the brother came out and said, yes, he's a snake. Nobody likes him.
The same thing you were saying, like he told me, like him and I talked a lot, and he told me a lot about his history, like growing up and stuff. And if it is true what he went through when he was younger, he was pretty much always trying to survive. So like when you're in survival mode, you have to do everything for yourself. Like it doesn't matter what it is, you have to do what you have to survive. But once he got out of that survival mode, or to where he didn't have to be in that survival mode anymore, he's still stuck in it. So he's a narcissist because he's developed these habits of only doing things for himself, right? But he's got to a point to where he doesn't have to do that, but he still has those habits, which therefore make him a narcissist. Now, because everything he does is for himself. Wow. So I'm not speaking too much on people. Like it's a lot I can say, but I could write a book.
Well, you remember that day? You remember that day when I called you and I was telling you what was going on, and we start running around picking up all that stuff.
Yeah, I remember. We could really write a couple books about that year. That year was crazy. It was crazy things going on that property.
Okay.
It was.
Go ahead. This didn't start with me. This didn't start with me. I just so happened to speak my truth from what happened, what I felt happened to me at that house that night, and I wasn't going for it. Right. I didn't know. So you saying there's some other stuff that done went on, but guess what? The other baby mama told me it was some other stuff going on too, right? The one that's quiet. She told me a bunch of other stuff was going on that she couldn't stand.
Not Tiffany, Lewis. Not Tiffany.
No.
All right.
Not her. No, she couldn't stand Kevin Wesley's guts. She felt like he was, man, listen. Man.
Nobody, I'm telling you, nobody liked him there. Nobody did. I used to walk past him. I used to feel his energy and literally walk past him and not say nothing to him because I felt his energy. Like I used to walk right past him. I wouldn't say. He would say something to me. I'd keep walking, ignore him. But speaking
he's gonna
of that,
go out here and say we're all trying. Yeah. We're all coming together.
Yeah, he's being set up.
We may be coming together. That is true. But we all have our separate stories. And I haven't spoken to him since I left there. And it's a lot that I want to say to him directly.
Promises
that I
to give you a bath.
Before I decide.
Tell him to get these smears off.
We gonna bypass that on my part.
Look at all this stuff on his face.
When you talking about that night with shrooms,
what's this?
I've never done shrooms. I microdosed one time, but that batch of shrooms that y'all did that night, especially for that being your first time, like everybody had a bad trip. Everybody had like the worst trip of their lives that night. So for that to be your first experience, I'm surprised you ain't kill yourself like that, because the things they were saying, how scared they were from taking those shrooms that night. Like Kevin told me, he said he went in the bathroom and it looked like his face was peeling off and he could see his skeleton. And I'm like, and he was experienced. He said he was never going to do shrooms again, ever after that night. So for that being your first time, like, and I knew about the story, for the next couple of days after. We was trying to keep it out the news and everything. But I felt for you because, bro, like, I thought you were tripping still in the morning. You were still tripping in the morning. Like, you were still high in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. My brother and my family said, yo, when we saw your videos come, my little brother said, yo, the look in your eyes, I knew something happened. He said, I knew something was wrong. And then let me tell you what caught so many people's attention. It's because people knew how close me and that dude was and how much respect I had for him when I was rocking with him. So to wake up the next morning and see, yo, Callie done flipped on Kev. What? Not Callie. That Kev is his boy.
I think we're losing a few people. They're getting confused because they're talking about nothing about it being a freak off. I know, Louis, you don't want to talk about this, but Callie, you did mention part of that earlier in the story. So anyone coming in here, you're probably late. You missed that part. You missed the moaning and the offering of fruit.
Yeah, it was like, man, listen, I just told y'all what I heard. I heard the basketball player. I heard him in there with some meat.
Why are you laughing, Louis?
I'm just here.
I told you I heard him in there with some men.
Mm-hmm.
First, I told you I heard a girl moaning at first, right? I told you got to go listen to the story. I told you there was one girl that was there with Kevin Wesley. One girl that was there with Kevin Wesley. I heard her moaning in that living room at one point. After that, I didn't hear the girl no more. It was just dudes in there. That's it. It was just dudes. It was Kevin Wesley, Superman, and two other dudes. Some dark-skinned, bald-head dude and the light-skinned tattoo dude. That's who was in that living room.
Yeah.
That's all I heard. And then when I didn't hear the girl no more, it went quiet for a while. Kevin would come in. He would come in and be like, "You all right, man? You all right? I'm good. All right." He would go back in there with them, with the dudes. And then them niggas get to giggling and laughing, and then I started hearing like the little chitter chatters. Then I heard Superman start. I mean, I know what that nigga sound like. I started hearing Superman moan like he was being pleasured or somebody was whatever. It was sexual. And
Do you remember who the girl was that peed in the seat?
me?
Yeah, do you?
No, I wasn't there for that.
No. I mean, I know it was a few people that peed at different times. At several of the different parties, like people had got so wasted they was peeing on chairs, and I think one girl took a shit on like a chair or something. Like it was crazy. Like I didn't deal with none of that. I do know one of the girls that peed. I'm not gonna say her name, but yeah, I do know one of them.
Okay.
And
I know they had to like clean it. They moved it outside.
I think we threw the chair away, so I don't even think we kept the chair.
It was moved outside, and then
Can I ask you the phone policy? Were we not supposed to have our phones in there?
Well, even before I worked there, they tried to like at parties and stuff. They tried to like take people's phones, but they weren't really tripping too much like that. Like you're allowed to have your phones. They just didn't want you like recording and filming all type of things. But yeah, you like for the most part, I was in charge of getting everyone to sign NDAs when they came. That was one of my jobs, to make everybody sign an NDA. And I never took any phones. I never even told people not to record. But you should have been able to keep your phone.
No, and so my phone, I was told we're not supposed to have our phones because he didn't want anybody to be seen in any kind of weird state of mind. And you're talking about people using the bathroom in the chairs and stuff. So, and people being embarrassed about doing some of these things. So I could understand, I would be able to understand that, right? If we're not supposed to be having our phones. Now, this guy had his phone and he secretly filmed me on them stairs in an altered state of mind. That's snake behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you had a plan to embarrass me, dude, for whatever reason. You feel what I'm saying?
Let's pause real quick. Lewis, did I sign an NDA?
I'm not sure. I don't remember, but I know that they weren't valid. They weren't valid. They weren't valid. None of the NDAs were valid, so it doesn't.
And Lewis, before you, it was a girl that used to make everybody. You remember? It was a girl.
Yeah, her and her mother, I think, the property manager.
Her and her mother.
Right before I got there, and those are the same ones that got me to. I went to a party like a couple months before that, and they were in charge, and they were trying to take everybody's phone, but then they ended up giving them back to us or whatever.
Yeah, and he fired her. I remember when he fired her.
Yeah,
he fired her, and I remember she was mad.
No, everyone did not sign NDAs.
No, I didn't sign one.
That's what I'm saying. Not everyone signed NDAs. I did not sign one. Callie
I didn't sign one.
Well, when you sign an NDA, both parties have to sign it for it to be valid. So I probably initiated over 300 signings of NDAs that year, and none of them were valid because the other party didn't sign them. So they were irrelevant anyway. So whether you signed it or not, if the other party doesn't sign, then it doesn't matter. It's not a contract unless both parties sign.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
It might be some more people that come out and start talking.
There might be some more people that start speaking up, right? Right.
And people are asking, why am I doing this now? Is it, y'all, for 20 fucking years I have dealt with this man. Are you kidding me? I've dealt with this man harassing me, threatening me, telling me if I ever come to Atlanta, he got something for me. And y'all really asking me why the fuck I'm doing this? Man, get the fuck off my life. I ain't got time for that.
Nah, man. You got it, man. Take your time and speak your truth, man. You got to understand, man. I've been telling this story with Superman's lover for almost 6 years. And because I don't be on social media like that, because I don't have a platform, this guy has been attacking me. He's been attacking my family. He's been attacking Royce. Kevin Wesley has permission to actually disrespect Superman's baby mama. If any of them come out,
he is trying to destroy us because we didn't agree with it and because we didn't jump on board. That's why this is happening, because we didn't join the team.
And I'm only on here. I don't have anything to say about Superman, but I jumped on here because of Kevin. You know, I got a lot. Kevin did a lot of harm that whole year I was there. So that's why I jumped on this. I don't got nothing to say about Superman, about his life, his private life, but anything has to do with
Lewis, he's gonna say you're jealous of him. He's gonna say you're jealous. Kevin
Wesley
Wesley is gonna tell everybody you're jealous of him. This is what he says about everybody. Anybody that talks about him.
I'm okay with that. I don't have no issue with that. He can say whatever he wants to say, but I don't know what I'm jealous of. But yeah, I mean, if you want to say I'm jealous, that's fine.
But Lewis, this is what I've been trying to tell the people about this Kevin Wesley guy. Superman's assistant. All right? This is what I've been trying to tell people about this Kevin Wesley guy. Everybody can't be wrong about this guy.
No, not at all.
His whole family is on this internet getting drugged. His whole family.
When you when you came out with those videos after that incident took place, I watched those. I watched those back then.
Yep.
Like in those days afterwards, and everything you were saying, I'm like, I've been thinking these things for months, right? The same exact things about him being a narcissist, being a snake, and then like someone who knew him for all this time came out. So that was like validation. I'm like, wow, like his own friends are saying the exact same thing that I'm thinking, or that I see right here, right? So, I mean, I've never spoken to you, but I did watch those videos back then. Everything you're saying is the truth. Like, it's the truth. It's all fraud. It's all fraud. It's all fraud.
This guy puts on a whole fake persona as this life coach, this elevated leader, this so-called guru, self-proclaimed guru, but his life is in shambles. And the point I'm trying to use, you hit it on the head, Lewis. This guy has hurt a lot of people, and that's why I stand on his neck like I do. That's why I don't let up off his neck, because I'm standing on his neck for the people, the community that he's taken from. He's scammed. He's hurt. Yes, we had our own personal issue, but brother, you took from the people, bro. I stand up for the people, bro. You are out here scamming the people. You out here shaking the cup. You're so bad to the point that people are making videos about you. You, Kevin Wesley, you were the creator behind that fake cheesecake factory skit. And people were calling you out because you're making these skits to disrespect black women. You're doing this to people. And people are calling you out about this.
He was not the originator of that skit. Like, he did that skit afterwards. It was like a copycat skit. That was not his skit.
So, okay, hold on, Lewis. All right, so I didn't even know that. He told us he was the creator of it, right?
No, skit came out and got popular. It got real popular. It was trending, and then it was a lot of copycats doing the exact same. He did it probably weeks, months after it came out. Like,
now check this out. He also took on his page, on his YouTube channel, you can go find the skit where he's reenacting about the stepfather and the marriage. The daughter wanted to. It's something about a stepfather and a marriage or something. That's not his skit either. So he's out here stealing people's content. He got the guy who originally made that story up was on Facebook. He got demonetized on Facebook for stealing that man's skit. And then the guy came out and told me, this is my skit. You taking my content. This dude still took that skit over to YouTube. It's on his channel right now as we speak. That's how disrespectful this Kevin Wesley dude is. That's how disrespectful. You're taking another content creator's work and claiming it as your own to go viral. Well, you're sick. You're a whole snake, dude. But I appreciate you, Lewis. Like, I've never spoken to Royce or Lewis. Never.
So we're basically dealing with two devils that lie and are giving the world worse than hell.
And that's why Superman and Kevin Wesley get along so well. Because somewhere in there, Kevin Wesley's hands are dirty too. I don't care what nobody thinks. These people don't allow you to be around them, and your hands not dirty. You gotta get your hands dirty too to be around these people, be in these little circles, or they're not gonna. And I felt like too, that was another reason I kept coming around to that house. And they didn't know what they could do and what they couldn't do around me. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know if I can really be myself, because I'm gonna keep it real. I never seen Superman do nothing suspect in my presence.
Me either.
I never.
I've seen a lot of models, a lot of fine women in that house. And I met a lot of fine women in that house. Like, whatever he does, that's on him. But I'm telling you what I seen in that house. Bro, it was fine women all throughout that house that whole year.
But he was engaged.
What's that?
He was engaged.
All right. Well, then I didn't see anything.
Listen, man, and I'm going to say the same thing I said on my live. If anything should happen to myself, Royce, Lewis, Tiffany, anybody, y'all know where to start y'all investigations at. Because these are powerful people. Like, this guy's powerful with money. His boyfriend, like, I don't know what him and K. Diddy Kitty little relationship is now. But I'm telling y'all, K. Diddy Kitty is he's a dirty dude, man. He's a dirty dude. When a person will sell their soul and they don't even have a loyalty to themselves. They're not even loyal to them. That's a dangerous person. And that's Kevin West.
It's loyal to money and loyal to fame. That's one of the biggest lessons I learned there that year was you know people will do anything for money, but you don't realize the extent that people wake up and every action that they make throughout the day is literally with the intent to either get closer to someone in power or to get money from somebody in power. Like, I saw it day in and day out, and I was shocked because I don't care about money that much. And if I do, it's just to survive. It's just, to live good. But most of my actions throughout the day are not with the clear intent on just money. So when you see people like that, and I was around people like that day in and day out, it wasn't just him. It was a lot of people that came through there that was trying to get in that inner circle. Like, that's the main thing, is to get in that inner circle. Because if you're in the inner circle, now you can, whisper in their ear, and you can try and get some benefits in some type of way. And so that's what all that was about. Him being in the room all the time, being close. Is that if you close, then you have some input, and that's how you're able to talk about people and whisper things in their ear and get them to start thinking about this and things that's not even true. So that happened a lot then. He was good at that. And I'm telling you, this was my...
Pause. Let's give another correction. Because now they're trying to say, oh, Callie, you're admitting that nothing LGBTQ-ish was happening. You're just admitting that you didn't see anything. You definitely have always said you didn't see anything, but you heard.
Wait a second. So what I'm saying is, before that night, me coming over there multiple times, I've been over there with my family. I've never seen him do anything rainbowish. Never. But that night, yes, I still didn't see him that night. I heard him that night.
I just wanted to clarify, because people like to make a play on words. And I'm like, let's just clarify before people take something and try and run with it.
So I'm saying the multiple times I have been over there with my family, because I was always there with my family, never over there by myself. I've never seen him do anything out the way, rainbowish.
Right.
But that night, I still didn't see him do anything, but I heard him in the next room. So that's what I was saying. Yeah, they looking for anything. Like, it is what it is. I mean, it's to be expected. It's good, evil. We live in a world of good, evil. We live in a world of who cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining, man. So,
Right.
I mean,
y'all, I talked about the pastor in another live. I also talked about it in my parts, so I'm not going to talk about that.
They've asked multiple times to redirect, but I don't know what they want to redirect you towards. I don't know what they want you to speak on.
What else are they trying to ask? What are they talking about?
Like, be specific with the redirect. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. I was liking finding out about.
Callie, what's his relationship to all this? That mean that you just got here? I mean, do you want to say what your part in this is in a nutshell?
So,
because I think like at this point it's about time to get off anyway. But
yeah, I'm cool.
Ditto.
We were Superman and I had a mutual friend in this guy named Kevin Wesley. And I came to a party and felt tried at a party, and I'm a mutual friend, to one of Superman's friends.
And this is a guy who I was talking about when I was walking my dog. I heard cursing out Kevin, and which is the guru that I talk about, and how he was threatening to shoot him and come and shoot up the whole house. Yeah. Lewis is who I was calling the groundskeeper, and he was around that day because he saw the lies and also everything that was going on. When I was running around picking up paraphernalia and I was saying I was with the groundskeeper, I was with Lewis. Yeah. So we're talking about filling up the holes from that night. And while I was even asleep to when I even went back into my room up until when I'm walking my dog. All those holes have been filled. I highly, highly suggest that you go to Callie's YouTube page and look at his past live because he really goes through that entire time frame, piece by piece. I don't know how y'all be on live for autumn hours. That's crazy. But
man, you get to talking, man.
I know, I get it, but he really goes into detail about what was happening, and even when he saw me, we kind of just addressed that now. And me not realizing that was him until like further on. It really just fills up the holes of what I was seeing from my perspective and then what was actually going on. And then the rest of what went on that night. And even the police coming across the front of the gate and Lewis seeing them and he wouldn't let them in the gate. So, yeah.
That's strange. That's something strange. Like, if a police comes to your house, they coming in. But one thing I realized, like when you have money like that, like they'll come to the gate, 3 or 4 of them, sit there, tell you to open up. If you don't open up, they just gonna turn around and leave. They just turn around and left. Yep. They're like, well, they won't. And that happened on multiple occasions. Like, police were called, we did not open the gate, and they just turn around and left. It happened multiple times.
Lewis, they said, Kevin wants you to call him.
What?
They're in my chat saying that Kevin, they said Kevin, Lacey is on live telling Lewis that Kevin to call Kevin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've definitely been wanting to speak to him for a long time because I got a lot to say to him.
Well, check this out. I'm about to jump off, right? And I'm gonna talk to my people over here on my YouTube, because we've been at this. Y'all are welcome to come over there if y'all like. But they over here asking me questions and stuff, and I ain't really had a chance to talk to them. But I appreciate you, Royce. Man, Lewis, I really appreciate you because you filled in some. My chat was over here like, so he wasn't the assistant, huh? Yeah, so I appreciate you, Lewis, man, because you definitely just filled in some holes. He told us he was the assistant around that boy. You're saying the same thing his girlfriend at that time said, that he was just there. So you're basically showing that this guy had a lot of power in that house. Should not have a job at that house. So what were you doing to get that much power over this guy's family?
He didn't have power as far as he didn't have power in the house. What he had was Dwight's or Superman's ear. ear. He had his ear, right? So that's a personal thing. That had nothing to do with the workings of the property and everything that went on the property and everything that went on with guests on the property or anything. Like, he didn't have any say so in that, or he had zero power when it came to anything that actually, any decisions that were made on the property. But he had a personal ear as a friend, right? Like, so if they were friends, he may have confided in Kevin or, you know, listened to him. But as far as like power on the property, he couldn't tell nobody on the property to do anything. Nobody, not a guest.
He just go tattletale on y'all.
Right. So he didn't have a job.
He didn't have a job. Yeah. He did not work there. He did not work there.
He didn't have a job, but he could go tattletale. Like, he tattletale on everybody. I got you. Nah, that makes sense.
Oh, I had people that were in the room with him when he was telling on me come back to me and tell me the things that he said about me that were all not true. But I knew from pretty much a couple months after I got there to watch out for him. That's why I said I used to just walk past him like I didn't even know who he was.
But Louis, I want him. Remember?
Oh.
Remember?
That's a whole nother. I don't know if y'all talked about that before I got on here.
I don't think we really addressed it yet, but maybe a little bit. But yeah.
And you know, you and I had a lot of conversations about that right when it happened. So
yeah.
That'll be another day.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you, Louis. Well, y'all, I appreciate y'all. I'm about to jump over here, holler at my people, man. But Royce, we'll talk, man. Thanks a lot, Louis. I appreciate you, brother. I'm about to jump off, y'all.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Peace. Bye. Bye. All right. Bye, Louis. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Well, you guys, that's where we're gonna end it. We could take it further. You know, I've been letting this play without commentary because I don't know who the hell Kevin Wesley is. I don't know who the hell this guy Callie Nola is, Chief Callie. And this dude, the groundskeeper, aka Louis, and Superman, otherwise known as the basketball star, who is the father of Royce Reed's son. And if we Google that, does it come up? Oh, look who comes up. That's who comes up. And this is who they've been saying is Superman. And so that was 3 hours and 37 minutes of the story for Royce Reed, former Basketball Wives star. The story needs to get out. As it turns out, she needs protection. She needs as many ears on this story as possible because the more ears on the story,
Jordan Glass, JRNGC.
The more ears on the story, the more eyes can be on the story if something happens. You know what I'm saying? So I'm live. I'll call you back. Love you. And because of that, that's part of why I shared this. I also shared it because on Basketball Wives, I used to like Royce on there. I believe, wasn't she very sassy back to Evelyn Lozada? I think that was like season 4, maybe. But anyway, the father of Royce Reed's son is Dwight Howard. She talked about a lot of things that I even had to put a trigger warning in the comments about at the hands of her baby daddy. And it was her story to tell. She did receive a cease and desist where they're trying to make her stop telling her truth. And we're putting it out there is before they silence her permanently, you know. That was a random Instagram of confirmation. 2 men that she had previously told us in the other videos were part of the story. She mentioned the groundskeeper. She mentioned the guru. You know what I mean?
This is real life, no cheat codes or start overs. I'll send 100 rounds like a game of red.
And she received this. on the 31st. So she started the first of the year like that. She's hot. So we're
when I'm being disrespected. But then when I get disrespectful, nobody laughs. I'm laughing. It was so funny when you were disrespecting me. It was so funny. But then when I take it to my level, because there are always levels. So when I take it to my level, all of a sudden everybody stops laughing.
well. And then she dropped receipts, which are text messages between her and
Everyone thinks it's funny when I'm being disrespected.
Here they are. These text messages are part of her proof as to what she's anything. Sorry. Shut up, song. So these text messages demonstrate how the cease and desist are useless because she's been telling the truth. And then look at the title for this person. Is it going to get big for us? Does that say fucking sperm donor? Oh no, fuck off sperm donor is the name of this person. Gosh, and more? Wow. And so yeah, so she's like cease and desist. Why? Instead, I'll just drop receipt, I'm with that, Royce. Yeah, so hashtag protect Royce. Hashtag save Royce. Okay. Anyway, you guys, thanks for coming through the LRGA Curves today. Make sure you smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and ring the bell on your way out or in. I will see you definitely in these YouTube streets this week because finally, oh my God, Real Housewives of Potomac is back, as well as Married to Medicine is back this week. So we'll get to talk about those. Dr. Heavenly is going to be going live. And then she'll be here on the 15th of January at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Dr. Heavenly will be here to take our questions. So go ahead and leave your comments under the post for that event and have your bell rung so you can get notified when we do go live that day. Okay? Right on, right on. Thanks for being here, you guys. Remember what I always say, there's enough to go around. So what you gonna do? Go get some. That's right. See you in the next video. Peace. This was fun.